Hello, everybody. Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
Fantastic. Always a good way to start a video. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Impulse Drive, one shot for GauntletCon 2018. I'm so happy to be here with a bunch of really cool people that I'm excited to play with. We're playing Impulse Drive, the preview version. We're using the quick start rules for one shots, which creates an even more intense, fast loop of play so that we can see a lot of good stuff. If folks would like to take a moment and introduce themselves, would you like to start off, Rich?
I'm Rich Rogers. This is my channel, so I'm very excited to have Adrian on here running Impulse Drive, a game that I like quite a bit. I have never gotten to play it, so this is other than when you were on +1 forward, but that doesn't count. This is a full-on thing. I took a 4.5-hour nap so that I will be cognizant during this thing, so super excited.
Awesome. And Pharrell, tell us about yourself.
Hey, I'm Farrell Riley. I'm actually the organizer of Houston Gauntlet, so Gauntlet Prime, the motherland. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to getting my space on with all you lovely people this late at night. And I may be a little loopy because I have been up since about 7 a.m. this morning, and it is 11:16 local time. It has been a day of gaming.
Big day. That's a very big day.
This is my 4th game today.
Yeah, I love that you folks who have had very, very big days did save some time for Impulse Drive tonight, because I imagine, yeah, it is very late for all of you. So thank you for staying up to play with me. And JD, how about you introduce yourself as well?
Hey, I'm JD. Everybody's pitching their stuff, so I'm going to pitch my stuff. I run Chimera Cast. That's a Dungeon World actual play podcast. Who's been pitched on Gauntlet Network before, but super stoked to play this game. It's been on my 2 playlist for a really long time, so it's fantastic. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Awesome. Wow, I'm really feeling the pressure now. Cool. So yeah, we're playing Impulse Drive. Has anyone got any picks for who they want to play in their archetype? Any interesting character types that you want to jump into from in the list?
Did we do Christo's introduction?
Oh, sorry, Christo. I totally missed you. Christo, please tell us all about yourself.
Oh, that would take too long. I'm Christo. I'm a member, just a regular member of the Gauntlet. So it's let's see, second GauntletCon. Been around a while. Love playing Rainmaker characters and people that gets everybody else in trouble. So point me to that playbook and I'll do it.
Sounds good. The character who's best at getting into trouble would probably have to either be the Scoundrel or the Tempest is very good at that. In fact, the Tempest is triple encouraged. Not only do they have the hooks to go for, but they have a mechanism that when they sort of suffer their own sort of levels of emotional sort of setbacks and negativity, that builds them up power so that they can do more powerful action moves. So yeah, that's a good one if you like trouble.
So the worse it gets, the stronger I am. That's kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah,
sort of.
It's also yeah. The stronger you get, also the more collateral damage you cause. So
yeah, but collateral damage, those are unliving constructs. We're not worried about that, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the ship is maybe a collateral, maybe.
That's it. So yeah, anyone else got preferences for, or you can even just sort of start, I want to play a character like this, and I can point you in the direction of a playbook that can probably help you do that as well.
Does anyone else want to spout off some technobabble? Because if not, I'm eyeing the intellect, and I will have plenty of quantum flux capacitors to pass out to everyone.
You should intellectualize, Farrell.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, that's definitely a good pick for that. Lovely.
I think we need a heavy, so I'm thinking Warhorse.
Yeah, definitely a good pick, Warhorse. Lovely. Warhorse is very good at solving problems with the sharp end of your gun. So yeah, very good pick for sort of that sort of action. Cool. All right. Anyone else got any favorites that they want to look at?
I'm kind of leaning outsider, but I'm not necessarily there yet. I feel like that could totally change the dynamic of things, but it's, you know, it speaks to me. It seems interesting.
Do it. You should do it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Jump in, go for the outsider. Outsider always adds a really interesting dynamic, whether they pick the because every character archetype starts with two backgrounds that sort of like shift you in one direction or another. The outsider gets the child, which is sort of the Data style character of like, I'm very innocent about the world and there's a lot of things that I don't understand because I'm so weird. And they sort of like are interested in learning and curious. And then there's the stranger, which is the person who like knows all of the secrets from, you know, like either otherworldly dimensions or from the very, very far past. So another good example for that version would be Javik from Mass Effect 3, which was a DLC character, one of those Day 1 DLC characters, where he was actually from the civilization that was in the cycle before the cycle that we see in Mass Effect. And he had a lot of interesting insights and thoughts about the current state of the galaxy. So,
yeah, I've been binging Babylon 5, so I'm thinking Ambassador Kosh real hard.
Oh, yeah. Outsider is very Ambassador Kosh, absolutely. Cool. All right. And so we've got our warhorse for the tough guy. We've got maybe a Tempest for the troublemaker. We've got the intellect for the thoughtful problem solver. And we've got the outsider for just the weird stuff. Cool. Good combo.
So we've got Picard, Geordi, Data, and possibly a Worf.
Cool. Nice. Alrighty. Let's see here. So character creation for the quick start rules. Let's see here. There it is. All right. So yeah, once you've got your name and you've chosen your pronouns for your character and your look, you get to choose one of the two background moves, and then we can move on to the fun stuff, which is the hooks. Good point to mention the safety tools that we'll be using, which is the X, if you want to either type X in chat or to me privately, or just do an X on the screen, and also lines and veils. Lines, the things we definitely don't want to see in the game, and the veils, things that we sort of just want to say can happen, but we fade to black or skip over, or the scene cuts away and we go to somewhere else. Hard line for me is anything involving sexual violence. I'm definitely not into that. I may do like cuts away for certain kinds of non-sexual violence, probably medical stuff. I would do like a fade up or a cut away. So it can happen, but this is the one that sort of like more implies that sort of stuff than shows it on screen. Anyone else got any lines or veils that they'd like to draw?
No, like it probably doesn't need to be said, but no graphic depictions of violence. Like, you know, okay, I punch him, his teeth go flying, that's fine. But no, like, hey, and I'm cutting into him, and this is what's going on.
Yeah, nothing. And the word gets overplayed, but nothing visceral.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
didn't you
cool.
say you played with Kate Farrell?
Look, salt lamps don't count.
Adrian, so for the backgrounds and whatnot, do we just cut and paste them somewhere? I wasn't sure where they go in the character sheet.
Yeah, you can just set them up as one of the, let's see here. So when you get down to the move section, you can just add it in as an other move, or you can add it under the archetype move. So you just press the add button, pop in the details, and then if you need another one, you just hit the add button again, so you can just add in extra stuff there. So yeah, you get your signature move, you get the background move that you choose, and if you like, you can choose one more move from your advanced list, just so that we've got some extra tools in the box to play with. Cool. All right. Now, I'm one of those GMs that doesn't do a lot of prep, even for a one shot or anything like that. So we can also have to talk about stuff that we want to see in the setting, what sort of a setting it is. So we've got the like the establishment stuff that the game brings, which is your sort of like on this smuggler ship. Some choices you'll make on that will determine where that sort of sits. But yeah, sort of what sort of feel shows-wise do you think we would be looking for? Are we going for sort of like a more modern Killjoys-y type feel? Do we want something a little bit older, like Babylon 5 or Farscape? Or, yeah, where do people sort of fall for that sort of stuff?
You mentioned Mass Effect, and that got me on a thing. I actually think my warhorse, I'm just going to steal... oh God, what was it? Shoot, who was basically the warhorse assassin who always had the crazy story about his gun, and now I can't remember his name.
Is it Zaid?
Said. Yeah, I love that guy.
Oh, he's good value. Cool. There's not a move, but who knows, if you manage to work the phrase "made out like bandits" in there somewhere, you might earn yourself an XP.
Nice.
He's good value. I like Said.
Zaid Masani.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, we could definitely do sort of like a like Mass Effect 2 sort of like hits that sweet spot for Impulse Drive for me, where it was set in the Mass Effect universe, but it felt more like a Dirty Dozen type movie, or even like a Suicide Squad feel of movie, of sort of like, let's just get all these weirdos and criminals together and make them do the thing that's good for everybody, but not necessarily what they would consider to be their best interests.
Sounds good to me. I just posted up a link for anybody that hasn't seen the Mass Effect thing, so you know what I'm talking about. It's a guy who's obviously had facial reconstruction that was done by a street dock in some back alley of a terrible, seedy city, and he's got a cybernetic arm, and it's not very expensive looking, and he's just seen some shit.
Yeah, that's very good. I like him. He's such a good boy. Cool. All right, so we've got our grizzled old warhorse Zaid style character. I like that. Cool. All right. Now I'll just shut those and reopen them so that they get renamed. Anyone got any other questions or any sort of points that they want to bring up?
Are we going to be keeping this more of a serious tone, or is it going to be a little more lighthearted? What's the tone we're shooting for? Just so I know the appropriate level of curmudgeon to bring.
Good question. Yeah, how do people feel? I'm open to play it goofy or more sort of like down to earth and serious. I'd like to see what it would look like as a down to earth, because a lot of the Let's Plays so far have had that very goofy Guardians of the Galaxy style feel.
Well, I'm playing a Tempest experiment, so I think Dark could go pretty well with that.
Yeah.
And
cool.
I was thinking of doing telekinetics if people aren't against that. So lots of destruction, I guess, and I guess that's what you were looking for, right?
That's it. Very cool. I like it. And it's pointing us at the sort of thing that your characters are going to start off doing as well.
What, repairing the ship?
I don't know. Either that or blowing something up.
Either way, we're completely broke. So
that's it. Yeah, you're definitely very broke. Cool.
Who owns the ship? Is this some kind of collective thing, or is one of us an owner? Is this a thing I got from mustering out, like some kind of package? or did the Intellect steal it?
Is the ship technically owned by your predator, your patron, who's like fronted you up and said, okay, I own you and I own the ship, now go and do things for me, and maybe one day you will own the ship? Or is your creditor just some mysterious backer who sits in a weird room and smokes a cigarette?
Oh wow, that's the one.
I like it.
Farrell knows my go-to. I'd say it has to be Fish Mooney from Gotham.
Huh?
Nice.
That's your
it's
go-to.
a good
That's
call.
great.
I like that. Yeah, okay. Yep, I can definitely picture that. She'd be a very interesting benefactor. Cool. Okay. All right. Then creditor.
So you said we get our archetype move and then one additional move, correct?
Yeah, one additional move as well. Yeah. There we go. So your creditor, Pycea Satellite, ruthless woman with an unclear agenda. Cool. Oh yeah, we've got some hooks already in here for Theo.
Yeah, I just kind of went through and it's like, these seem like the most explosive ways to like make things move. These seem pretty good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When you're looking at the looks, what do those options mean? So for instance, modified, augmented.
They're left fairly broad because Impulse Drive isn't particularly concerned about whether your character is a robot or an alien, or like a humanoid alien or a non-humanoid alien, because you all end up like playing in the game pretty much the same. So when it says something like augmented, you get to tell us what that looks like. So, my fish person is augmented in that they have they have had lungs implanted and they've been given arms and stuff like that. So they used to be someone that just lived in the water, but now they can actually be someone that like lives in an oxygen breathing atmosphere because they've augmented themselves to do so. Or it could just be they have a robot arm. So yeah, you get to sort of like describe what those are, and they're keywords for you to build on. Cool. All right. Is anyone at the point where they're ready to introduce their character?
I think I'm pretty much ready at this point. I think I've got it pretty much built up.
Lovely. All right. Well, yeah, if you'd like to introduce us to Theo, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to be playing Theo Glees, the intellect. Pronouns are they, them. And they are this kind of bald-headed, androgynous-looking, very distracted individual, usually banging on something mechanical. Very sharp. Like we'll spot like in the middle of a conversation, they will like hold on, walk over, like hit something with a wrench a couple of times, and then suddenly that rattling that was very low in the background is gone, that you didn't notice until it wasn't there anymore. That type of person. They have spent their life working on ships. Like born on a ship, will probably die in a ship. Hopefully not dying on a ship via being sucked out an airlock. Nearly happened twice. And the moves that they have are, they've got their background, which is, where did I put that? Somewhere. Oh, yes. They are an expert in physics, faster than light travel, and spatial economies, and engineering technology and devices. Again, spent their life on ships, have done everything with ships. The archetype move is going to be jury rig. Basically, if they have a box of parts, they can kind of build anything. It's not going to be great, though. It'll probably explode in someone's face. Hopefully the person whose face explodes in is someone we hate.
I like it. Theo sounds very interesting. Now, their knowledge that they've gotten about like faster than light physics and all of that sort of stuff, is that sort of like, did they get a degree, or is this just all hands-on knowledge of sort of like, yeah, well, sure, you can say all the fancy words, but Theo knows how to do the thing?
It is very much the hands-on. They've been on if you look them up in whatever galactic registry there is, their name keeps popping up over and over on all these ships.
Cool. I like it. Very cool. Does anyone else have a character ready that they want to introduce, or any questions?
Yeah, I will introduce my war horse. His name is Duke Gitanis, and he has kicked around. He's served a few tours for a particular faction that's far, far away, mustered out and became a merc for a while. He has left behind more body parts than would be wise, but doesn't seem to be good at much anything else other than war. So he just keeps doing that. And now he's somehow ended up on this ship. Probably spends a lot of time reminiscing, telling stories about old fights, which are probably boring. Have you ever run into somebody in the office who like has those stories of things they did over the weekend that they think are extremely interesting and you don't? Put guns in it, and that's Duke.
How is he as a storyteller? Is he like actually pretty good at delivering the goods, or is he sort of like chop all over the place and stop in the middle of things as he's thinking about the thing and then continues telling the story like he didn't have a 30-second silence?
He's got like a staple of really good stories, but unfortunately the crew has heard all of them. So he's trying to branch out into some other stories where there's gaps in memory, where like the splicing of his RNA didn't fully take when he was reconstituted at times. So there's stuff where he kind of fills in things with hollow novels that he may have read just to make sure that it all flows. So it's probably not true.
Cool, I like it. Halfway through telling a story and someone goes, wait, isn't that just Die Hard? Aren't you just telling us the story of Die Hard?
No, there's a Nakatomi Plaza and shut up.
Cool. Anyone else ready to introduce their cool character?
I have a question about hooks.
Yes.
So is anybody against me taking blank calls me a criminal and a monster that won't stop hunting me? So that's not like the blank is not referring to any player characters. That's a group.
That's right. That's an NPC on the outside who refers to you as that. And you can...
Because that'll sort of define, I guess, the story potentially, won't it?
That's right. Yeah, that'll add an element into the story. So yeah, if anyone's got any ideas, or if you, Christo, yourself have an idea of who it is that thinks of you that way and is after you?
No, I don't. But I'd like that hook.
I think it'd be a good one if everyone else is happy with it.
So you're thinking someone calls you a criminal and monster that's a member of this crew, or you think, okay, sorry, just making sure.
No, I mean, I have options for that too, I guess, potentially. They're just not hunting me, right? Because if you remember the crew, you know where I am.
That's it.
Well, let me ask you this. If they're calling you a criminal and a monster, and you are playing the Tempest. It's, psychic powers. What's to say that they actually believe that? Like, it could just be something they call you so people won't trust you, won't help you, and they're really after you. Like, I'm playing up the, like, yeah, they want to recapture their experiment gone wild. What's the best way to do that? Hey, you're an intergalactic criminal. Big reward. Call us.
Or it's the old the fugitive thing, Tommy Lee Jones is after you. He thinks you're a bad guy, but you were just set up.
Are we looking for the one-armed alien?
We're looking for the three-armed alien.
Excuse me.
And what does it
So
mean?
yeah, that's definitely possible.
And what does it mean with the other hook that says my powers cause me extreme pain? Is that just fiction, or does that have a mechanical?
That is, you get to say, I'm doing this thing, but because my powers cause me extreme pain, I'd like to take disadvantage on this roll. And when you go to use your powers, someone else might say, oh, don't you have that hook? And you can say, yes, but in this point, my character feels so strongly about the thing that they push through the pain. It doesn't even slow them down. They feel so strongly. And yeah, you can decline the hook in that way. So you get to fictionally position when you activate the hook to take disadvantage, and when you decline the hook to avoid disadvantage if it's something that you, the player, care about your character succeeding at.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Anyone else got any questions or hooks that they wanted to go over or introduce their character?
All right, so I'm still figuring out my outsider, but here's my idea, and hopefully I'm gonna try to play this in like a grounded, dark way, but it is kind of a goofy concept, but I think we can work with it. So I'm still filling out this little sheet, but I think my name is the Democratic Machines of Zreed. My body is 10 billion tiny machines. And so my idea behind this is that I'm effectively gray goo from some other culture that then decided to become independent of its programming and all voted to become its own like sovereign independent organism, and therefore like they communicate within themselves as their own like society. So it's a take on the hive mind thing, where rather than the Borg being like you're one individual part of a hive mind, I am the whole hive mind as an individual that isn't really a hive mind. They like debate, and there's like discourse within Zreed.
Yeah, I like that. Reminds me a little bit of Legion from Mass Effect, who was still part of a larger collective, but also within itself had a whole bunch of different little programs that were individuals that sort of like had to reach consensus on stuff.
Makes me think of Warlock, actually, from X-Men.
Yeah.
From New Mutants.
So yeah, a lot of good touchstones to build on that. Yeah, for sure. I like it.
For filling this out, this is just so this has like my culture is blank, but I'm different from them because blank. That's like riffing off of like ripping off human cultures and then like just changing one aspect of it. Is that kind of what you're going for?
Yeah, you can sort of like it's so when you have the character who's part of an alien race that is known for a thing, but then this character is different because they're a PC, or they're the main character or they're one of the main characters in the show. But you could also say my culture is blah, but I am different from them because I am this grey goo stuff that this culture developed, and then whatever happened to your culture. But yeah, we're a creation of that culture. So you could play it that way as the Democratic Machines of Zreed.
Cool.
Yeah, the outsider can be a little, have a few extra things to play around with in character creation because they've got that really unique way to sort of define themselves compared to everyone else. So there is a little bit more nuance to creating the outsider to start off with. Anyone else got any hooks that they wanted to go through or put to the group, or see if there's a PC that they want to fill in for the blank in a hook?
One of the ones I yanked out was blank can't keep it in their pants. Is that going to cause a problem for anyone?
No, that sounds good to me.
All right, just checking. It's one of those very charged moves. The other one is The other one is blank has a secret to destroy us all. It's like, we all have secrets that will destroy each other. I figure that's pretty solid group choice.
Mm. And like saying blank has a secret that will destroy us all suggests either you know the secret or you know that they at least have the secret. So that creates good tension there as well.
I've chosen 3 hooks. I'm flexible to others, but I thought I'll protect blank from anything, even themselves. Sounds fun, maybe for our Tempest, perhaps. Krista, did you find a name yet?
I think I'll go with 11.
11.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No, no,
nice.
no.
Go with a different number. Yeah, can
Yeah,
we do
different one. I was like, wait, I've heard that before. No, yeah, no, not that.
Would you like some Egos?
Yeah, no, thank you.
1.1? You could go 1.1.
Oh, 1.7. What version of Impulse Drive is this?
Yeah, 1.7.
How about point?
Point. I like that. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you go with I'll protect point from anything, even themselves.
Uh-oh, sure.
And then Farrell, what do you think about Theo is like a child to me. I'll teach them to be strong.
I think that works pretty well because like combat situations break out and it's like, yep, I'm going in this duct. Call me when this is over.
And I think the whole democratic machines is just a little too much for Duke, so he probably just calls you Zreed. How about Zreed and I have seen all of each other's scars? That's a sacred bond. You like that?
Yeah, that's great actually.
Good.
Cool.
And yeah, I would expect everybody to call me Reed. It's like shortening, United States of America to just America. It's fine.
Okay.
That is a good question. Does Reed see themselves as a nation?
Yeah. Reed is explicitly an independent state, and will go to war over those who try to withhold my sovereignty.
Nice.
Do you have passports that we have to fill out every time we come into your room?
Well, you guys can't enter my physical state, so no. Unless you try to get within, I guess, my whole body, which might be weird. We can talk about that if it comes up. You need consent, that's for sure.
Congratulations. I just found out who gets the can't keep it in their pants move hook. You can't keep it in their pants, and that's going to cause problems. I want to see how this gets thrown out. Like, are you constantly trying to gray goo all my shit? Like, we need a flashlight. That flashlight looks good. I just bought that.
So does that mean, Farrell, your character is always walking around with like an ultraviolet flashlight or whatever it is to detect the gray goo?
I mean, one of my other hooks is I will become obsessed with a mystery to the exclusion of any danger around me. I think it's very much until I get a problem solved, I kind of laser focus in on that.
I like it. Yeah, cool.
And then my other one, PC has a secret to destroy us all. Rich, I think you have a secret that could destroy us all. So, Duke, destroy us all with your secret.
Oh, it's Duke. You could just say Duke.
Can't call you Duck. Ducky.
It's Duke.
Now,
Sure thing, Ducky.
is it Duke as in the Duke? Is that where he got it from?
You wouldn't admit to it, but yes.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. So has anyone else got any other blanks or questions that they want to fill in? Or shall we fill in some blanks on the ship?
I need 2 PCs. I need a PC that has seen me at my most vulnerable, and I'll make sure they never tell anyone what they saw. And a PC that gets under my skin. I want to show them I'm better than they think. Any volunteers?
I'm very interested in who has seen point at their most vulnerable.
It was me. I was watching from the ducks. No, like probably it's like you went to the engine room because that's like always the most deserted like a lone place to be, and yet that's where I live. So
I can just imagine it too. Like whatever Point's most vulnerable moment looks like happens, and then in the vents, Theo sort of like makes that inadvertent noise after it's all happened, and yeah, Point looks up, and you both know that Theo knows, but maybe you haven't had the talk yet.
we definitely haven't had the talk.
I like it. There's good tension there. And what was the other one for Point?
Somebody gets under my skin. I want to show them I'm better than they think.
It could easily be Duke because he thinks he has to protect you from everything and from anything and yourself.
That works for me.
Perhaps also Duke thinks he's better than everybody, so...
Well...
he wouldn't say it out loud.
Yeah, I mean, now that you brought it up, it's likely.
I never say it, but all my friends say it. Cool. Alrighty. Anyone else? How are you going with your bits for the outsider for Jeed?
For Hook specifically, or do you want me to?
Oh yeah, go through your truly alien stuff as well, so that we can learn about Jeed.
Cool. So yeah, I think I've got our name is the Democratic Machines of Jeed from a dimly lit science orbiter. Our body is 10 billion tiny machines. Our culture is stoic, but we are proactive. We have the unique ability to, I think, just disperse and reform. We don't need to eat, but we do need to absorb electricity. We don't have a sense of touch, but we have the extra sense of electroreception. We can only communicate. Ooh, I might be changing this actually. My original thought was we can only communicate by vibrating all individuals within the state to make sound. Or potentially, what do you guys think about since I've got like this electromagnetism thing going on? If it's like radio, I can only communicate.
Only through like actual technology.
Yeah,
that would be
so you
interesting,
guys would have to have receptors of some kind, and it's like a real like low wavelength or whatever.
All spaceships have CB radios now.
Well,
yeah, you're just coming through the ship's comm. That'd be super interesting. I like that.
But is that sort of also super creepy? How do you hear then?
We all have sensors to detect vibrations.
So it's not through the comms. So we hear you through the comms, but
if you respond through radio, I'll just be able to pick up radio waves. And like be able to understand them as if they were actual speech, I think. So either way, you can just talk to me normally, or you can send me radio transmissions, and I'll get them that way.
Okay.
You're like an illegal pirate station on legs.
Yeah.
Jeed is always listening.
I'm basically Sealand. We just went off and made our own state to do our own thing. And then we can survive in any atmosphere. I don't think we need to breathe anything at all. So as long as we have electricity, we're good.
Nice.
We're a totally renewable nation state.
With the culture is stoic, but the Republic is, or the machines are proactive. Is that the culture that built Jeed was stoic?
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Is they were like science hermits that were incredibly advanced but refused to go out into the universe. And we all decided that we didn't like that we should be active players of agency. So rather than taking a neutral stance, we took a proactive one and left.
Interesting.
I
wonder what happened to
independence.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to that culture. Maybe we'll find out.
How dare you call us out like this? People who stay inside and never leave. That's why we have delivery services.
Cool. Alrighty,
I do think for the first hooks, I at least have right now. We owe Duke a life debt. We'll always be there for them or for him.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm working on maybe getting another one, but let me.
Cool. Well, if you'd like, you can just read out the ones you've got and see what jumps out to everyone.
Okay, cool. Yeah, these other ones are Blank's rules are a straitjacket. I won't let them hold me back. I will show Blank the true face of the abyss. I dislike how Blank treats me. I will teach them to respect me. That one might be, if we've got some tension going on, Farrell. Like if you think that I'm a little too grabby, particularly with regards to electronics that you would like to keep to yourself. Or maybe like because you're the intellect, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like you want to study me more or something, and I think that's a violation of my statehood. And so I maybe there's
Like-
tension there. I kind of like that.
Like, look, it would just be easy if I could learn like how to mass create you, and then just slather you on things when I need to fix them.
I like you thinking of me as like an individual machine or something, and not a collective nation.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, okay, fine. Whatever core consciousness you got can fine. Give me like the cast off ones.
Cool.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
just
great.
give me your finger.
All right, so I'll go ahead and fill that one in then for sure.
Cool. And yeah, did you have any others or?
Point could take the one about you showing Point the abyss.
Yeah.
Because it could be sort of along the lines of, you think you've got trouble, you've got, you know, you think you're in pain, or you think, you know, the world is horrible. You have no idea. You know, sort of the you know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, I definitely like
that.
coming from this technologically advanced society that maybe just, you know, keeps itself hidden or whatever. So maybe I have some insight into things that maybe I don't fully understand, or maybe my intelligence operatives are still trying to like uncover within me.
Are you like an instant democracy? Like every move you make has to have like some sort of vote going on,
Yes,
or
yes. But we can perform many calculations per second, so it seems like we are pretty quick to respond to things, but actually there's a full democratic process for each action, each decision, and then we all work collectively to make it happen.
So yeah, if you like pause for a few seconds, that's like just a massive thing. Oh, I like that.
or maybe that's when you sleep. You have like a democratic overthrow or something like that.
Cool. All right. I think that's all of the hooks. Everyone's got 3 hooks filled in. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's have a look at, and the ship's a little bit different for the quick start. So let me pull it up here. Here we go. Okay. Here it is. All right. So zoom in. So are there any suggestions for the name of your ship, or shall we go through building it and then see if a name jumps out to us? Yeah,
I say let's build and then figure it out at the end. Painting the name on is the last thing.
That's it. Yeah, cool. All right. So for the smuggler, there's a couple of suggestions for look there. You can pick up to 5, but you can also come up with your own if you've got your own ideas on how it looks. Once again, these are very broad descriptions. Some of it's just cosmetic of sort of like this is what it looks like, and some of it's sort of like speaks to the sorts of space that you've got inside and how well it functions and stuff like that. And that just sort of like adds a fictional layer to it. So dirty, rusted, grimy, worn, outdated, stuttering, dented, rattles, listing, scorched, ugly, or functional. So most of those generally say that it's kind of old and bad, but yeah, feel free to add in your own adjectives for it as well.
Can it be dented?
Dented sounds good.
And what I'm thinking is it's dented on the inside for like all the tempests, like telekinetic storms and stuff. There's just like dents in everything, and maybe something stuck in the walls in certain places.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. All righty. And everybody can edit the ship as well, so people can like type stuff in there if they want. So, dented.
I like the outdated part. Just like, you know, if you know the Enterprise ship has like the cool Apple LCD screens, this has got like punch cards.
Ooh. I like it, and like I like the idea of like using these punch cards, but every now and then it like comes up with that bam, bam, error, and you've got to pull it out, straighten out the card, like when you're trying to feed a note into a vending machine.
Or in a stressful situation, we drop the cards.
Yep. Yeah, so, you know, this side up. Oh shit! I like it. And are they like just like pure like paper cardboard cards, or are they sort of like some sort of metal, or are they like that futuristic sort of like, you know, the clear circuit board stuff that you see in a lot of things?
I think it's a mix depending on which ones we actually managed to find when we got this ship. So like the ones that came with it are like these big solid metal slugs. But then there's like the one for like start engine that for some reason didn't come with the ship. And we had to like punch it out of like, we had to 3D print one and put it in.
Nice. Yeah, it's just all this sort of like cobbled together stuff. I like that. Yeah. Cool. Any other sort of descriptions that people want to add to their ship? What do you think it's like space-wise? Is it cramped? Like, do you each have your own quarters, or is it sort of like a bunk room? Any preference?
I imagine is generally cramped, except maybe there's one for some reason during one iteration of this ship had bolted on an observation room that actually looks kind of nice, but we've fought over who could sleep on that couch so much that it's just considered neutral ground. Except that occasionally Reed will leave little bits of itself there to enjoy it and gets caught in the couch cushions.
They're ambassadors.
Right.
They're astronauts.
Astronauts. Oh, I like that. That's good. Yeah, there's some very interesting stuff that Reed could do with like leaving little bits of themselves behind on things and stuff. So like, I want to track this person. I'm just going to leave a little bit of something there.
Yeah,
it's an away mission.
Your surveillance state is what I'm hearing here.
Well, that really leans into the Reed can't keep it in their pants. It's not necessarily that like they're goo all over the place, but they're just in all the systems. They can see and hear everything because of the way that they interface with technology to communicate. Just Reed's like just all over the place, and like, yeah, you're always looking over your shoulder, and you've just got to accept the fact that Reed probably knows what you're up to. Cool, I like it. All right, and let's see here for our ship.
So that's 3 items so far, it sounds like.
Yep.
JD, did you already add something in there?
No, I haven't yet. I'm definitely still thinking about stuff.
I feel like with Zed, like maybe it's actually like really clean. Like you've got every single one of those corners covered when it's your duty day for scrubbing.
Yeah, that's interesting, but not like clean as in organized or like not messy. Because if you guys like leave stuff out or whatever, it just gets left out, but it's spotless wherever it gets left as we like scrub it microscopically.
Well, yeah, I guess the way Reed would perceive it is sort of like, you know, like even just a tool on a bench is this massive thing, but all of the like germs and bacteria and stuff like that on it, they are sort of like hostile entities that Reed has to get rid of.
I'm picturing like every little scene on this, like every germ fight is like Starship Troopers, where like I'm sending out my little machines and they're having a full on like death, total like annihilation war against the germs, but you guys are just like, oh, it's Reed's cleaning again.
Yeah.
But the advantage to that, I guess, would be that like even our like, although this thing is dingy, like everything in the engine is clean and spotless and is working right because it's not getting dust in it. It's not getting extra like oil and grit in there because I'm getting into every crevice, every crack. So there's advantages to it too, like with how the ship operates. It's at least like reliable, even though it's old.
I like it. Yeah.
And if like a big part breaks, that's not my department. But
Do we have somebody on the crew that's always going after Dreed and saying, "Out of my stuff, off of my bunk, don't touch it"?
all of you probably.
I feel like
sorry, go.
I was like, you're like sitting there eating some toast. You put some jam on. It's like, this jam feels a little. Zaid, we're green out in the fridge.
Oh, I like that picture for point. That's very cool.
That's because I took the look of twitchy was one of the options, so I wanted something that would show that sort of.
Very cool. Yeah, definitely. Very cool. All right. So I think we've got the look of our ship down and the feel of it. And we've got our creditor named Pisces Satellite. And let's see here. Her disposition starts off at neutral 0, yep, with 20 debt. So you owe her a buttload of money or favors or both. And yeah, she's someone that you can go to for jobs. It's one of those things that's sort of like, yeah, right now you owe me a bunch of money, but if you don't keep paying, then I get to make you do things that it's dangerous and help me, but don't necessarily help you. So yeah, that's Posea's angle. Basically, the debt isn't her end goal. Her end goal is you falling behind in your debt and then owing her in different ways. Cool. All right. And we've described a few of the spaces on the ship. Is there any other spaces that someone wanted to describe? I guess we'll go through picking the things. So you start out with a standard cargo bay on your ship where you can just put stuff. And then you've got some hidden compartments for stuff that you want to have on your ship, but you don't want people to find. And you start with, let's see here. I think on this one, you just start default with, zoomed in. There we go. The mounted turret and shielding as default, which is the upgrades that you start with. Oh, actually, no, I guess you get to choose. You could have, so out of these three things, you can have two. You can have a mounted turret, shielding, and passenger quarters.
Passenger quarters are not our quarters. Those are for people that we're taking with us.
Yeah. I mean, maybe someone bunks in there when you don't have any passengers, or maybe you fight over it. But yeah, it's like you could put passengers in the cargo hold, but they're not going to be very comfortable. But yeah, these passenger quarters are actually somewhere where you can put a person who's not part of the crew, and they're going to be reasonably comfortable.
It's a Motel 6 in space.
Well, I'll just tell you that if we choose that, I'm taking it. So maybe we should choose something else.
So what were the other options?
A mounted turret, which is a gun for shooting things in sort of like a dogfighting style. Think very much Millennium Falcon. And shielding, which allows you to sort of like, you can discharge shields to mitigate damage that your ship gets when it gets shot at. And then you've got to recharge it before you can use the shields again.
I feel like the shielding would be like a no-brainer.
We didn't start with shielding, but then point came along and we decided to get shielding.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, so shielding in the turret, probably a good start for the ship. We'll pop those on in the ship upgrades. Lovely. Okay. So yeah, now we can, if anyone has any sort of like jumping out things that seem to them in the sort of like the NPCs and group section for the ship. This is that's just part of the quick start so that you can quickly establish relationships. But we can also do this as we're playing. When you sort of go, oh, we really need a favor from someone. Well, we can say we got blah, blah, blah out of a tight spot recently and they owe us big now. And that creates them as a person and they're at a good disposition for you to help you out.
For some reason,
yeah, go ahead.
And I want to check in with JD, but for some reason I really want to go with the blank is a hefty bounty out on us. They must really hate us, and the they part makes me think that perhaps it's like the despotic machine state of some other competing goo being.
Oh, it could be like the like maybe all of the goo is controlled by like an individual AI on this like space orbiter that I'm originally from that we separated ourselves from.
Oh yeah, you guys like mitosized up, and then
Yeah,
you hate each other. This is your mirror.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I like that.
Sweet.
What
the despotic machine, the despotic machine regime of Quellish. I'm writing that down.
I like that.
Machine regime is a really satisfying set of words.
I like saying it.
Honestly, that's how they make most of their money, just poetry using their name. They copyrighted it in Space Court.
They just like enter scenes like this.
They are -2. Nice. All right. Cool. All right. So do we have a name for the ship? Does anything jumping out to anyone now that you've described this old clunker that's unusually clean?
How about Liberty?
Liberty? I like that.
But does it rhyme?
Is that one of the requirements? It has to be something rhymable. Oh, okay.
I mean, the machine regime is like already light years ahead of us in the rhyming game. We got to step it up.
That's what sticks in our craw. So pretty upset about that. I like Liberty, although I think that Duke probably calls her Libs.
The Liberty Queen, then.
Oh, I like that. Cool. All right. Well, we've got our ship, we've got our characters, and we've got at least one bad guy waiting in the wings. So it might be a good point.
Technically many tiny bad guys.
Many tiny bad guys, yes. Well, I think the machine regime doesn't have the same sort of ideas of, sort of like what a grey goo should do that necessarily Dreed has. Like Dreed sounds like, they prize their sovereignty, but they also respect the sovereignty of all other matter or most other matter in the universe to be whatever it is. Whereas I think Gelish is more sort of like, we're just going to turn everything into us.
I think Quellish is like the typical grey goo, but with a conscience, like an AI consciousness behind it, driving it forward.
Yeah.
It was also like a failed experiment by the creators, but in a totally different direction, I guess.
Yeah, maybe they're the answer to what happened to the creators. Like Dreed was their first failed experiment because they went off and did their own thing, and they were like, "Well, we're not giving up on nano machines yet." And then they created Quellish, and well, they didn't get a third chance.
Yeah, that's interesting. We'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
They tell you they're overcomped. No, you're the failed experiment. No, you're the reason our creators are doomed. No, it's because of you that they made me. Yeah, I love it.
Dad likes us best.
Oh, siblings.
So good. All right, shall we take a quick 5-minute bio break now that we've got all these bits and pieces, and it'll let me sort of like juggle some eggs and come up with a starting scenario and then jump in?
Sounds like a plan.
Cool. All right, catch everyone back in about 5-ish minutes.
12:20. Greetings, gentlemen.
Greetings.
Hello, hello. Cool. Just making some notes and making up some nonsense to start us all off. Cool. So is this the last game for everyone for the night before you're all off to bed, or do you have more planned after this?
This is definitely going to be my last one for the day.
Yeah, this is it for me
Cool.
too.
Cool.
I run Apocalypse World in 8.5 hours, so I'll take a nap after this and then.
Yeah. I imagine.
Which Apocalypse World are you running?
Apocalypse World set on Tatooine.
Ah, okay. I'm playing Apocalypse World like around that time frame, but not that one, sadly.
I am very sad for you because it's
one
awesome.
of these days I'm gonna get into one of your crazy Star Wars games.
I do like Richard's Star Wars Saturdays. They've had some really cool stuff, and I like how they're all kind of connected fictionally with like stuff that happened in previous games. But yeah, they use different systems and stuff. That's always been super interesting.
Impulse Drive in December. It's already full. Like I'm rolling 5 deep on my wait list for Impulse Drive, Adrian.
Wow.
Very excited.
Awesome. Very cool. I really liked the Misspent Youth Twi'lek Rebellion stuff too. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was super interesting. I think Misspent Youth might be more fun if everybody helps to create some of the more of the world, because we kind of came in with a pre-done conceit, but we eked out some pretty cool stuff, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty. Well, if the gang's all ready, we can kick off and have some fun and see what explodes. So starting off, the universe explodes. Great game, guys. Thanks for coming along.
I'll mark a calamity. Wait.
Yeah. So I think we're going to start off. You're on the mission already. You've gone in. You've gotten this job. We don't know who it's from yet. We can find that out at the end of the mission when you go to collect your pay. Your characters might know who it is, but we, the viewers, currently don't. This mission is something where you've got to sneak into a hostile facility, steal something dangerous, and then get out and deliver it somewhere. This facility happens to be an old asteroid that was a mining station. So, basically, it's a big asteroid. They built a station on the side of it, and then they just mined into the asteroid to get whatever valuable material was in the asteroid. And now it's like this hollowed-out asteroid. And someone's come along and converted it into a secret facility where they've got this dangerous thing that you're coming in after. Does any of the characters know exactly what it is you're here, or is it a mystery to everybody? And this is there's absolutely heaps of room for someone to jump in and go, my character knows, and I think it might be this. Because, I fly pretty fast and loose. I'm very improvisational.
Well, who's our pilot?
Good question. Who is your pilot? Is it one of you, or do we have an NPC pilot?
Ooh, NPC pilot.
Yeah. Do you want to leave that in my hands?
Yeah.
Poor Derek. He never knew what he was getting into when he joined this crew.
Man, what is up with this sausage fest? Jeez. How can I have trouble keeping in my pants if we don't throw things for me to, I mean, sure, he could be gay, and I'm not opposed to that. I'm just saying.
I mean, Derek could be her name.
It could be, yeah.
There we go.
Maybe Derek's her last name.
There you go. Stephanie
name? Is it
Derek.
Leslie that like made a switch from like predominantly male to female? So maybe Derek in the future has just gone from
Yeah, I
predominantly
like
male.
that actually.
That's great. I work with a Sean, that's spelled SHAWN, and only dealt with them over email for a while, and then met them, and it was a girl, and I'm like, wow, my mental picture of you in email is way wrong. It's just amusing to me. Sorry.
Cool. I like that. So yeah, Derek is the wheel woman left on the ship. She probably communicates with you all still while you're on your dangerous mission, just so we can sort of like get that distant sort of like thing back there and give you all someone else to rapport with. But I'm sure we'll have plenty of rapport through your characters as well. So yeah, we've got we sort of like start by coming in, and it's like, you know, the space in a star field, and we sort of like come in, and there's all these sort of like black spots as stars vanish, and then we sort of like turn a little bit, and we see that we were in the shadow of a bunch of asteroids, and like we're getting the light shining on one side of the asteroids, like sort of, you know, very lumpy, sort of like crescent moon type shapes, but they're also like, you know, odd shapes. And then it finally comes down to this one asteroid, and we can see that there's lights on the dark side of the asteroid. And it zooms in closer, and we see that it's like some sort of structure that's been built, and, you know, it's metal and very boxy, but it's got lots of aerials and you know, bits of technology that sort of like poke off it. And it's got a proper dock where people can fly in and sort of stuff like that. Now, has your crew faked their way into the dock, or has your crew set up like somewhere outside, on the outside of the station, and breached to get in? Anyone can jump in.
I think we have IFF, like identify friend or foe transponder, that we grabbed off of another ship, and we faked our way in. So we're like coming in, and as far as they know, we are not a frigate. We're like a different tramp freighter of some kind.
Okay, yeah. And like, you got like you faked a commission to pick up a load of cargo, or you're dropping something off?
Drop off.
A drop off. Yeah, cool. All right.
Not really. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So yeah, I think we cut in to your ship flying in, and so like Derek's in her pilot seat, and it's, you know, like this ratty old like dentist chair looking thing that, you know, has been in the ship for as long as the ship's been around, and, you know, really could do with an upholstering, but, you know, you're too poor to afford that. And she sort of like, you know, turns around in her seat as she's sort of like, you know, done the parking and done the back and forth talking with people, and says, all right, show's on, break a leg out there. And we sort of like pan over to you, and you're all sort of all kitted out. Now, when you're going off the ship, are you going off sneaky sly? Are you going off guns blazing? Or are you sort of like trying to talk your way through to sort of like get into the station?
Intellect should, yeah. So what do you think, Theo?
Well, they don't seem to really be too concerned about security. They didn't really look at the transponder codes from what I was seeing. I think we can just kind of waltz our way through, as long as, you know, none of us decide that we want to take their wrenches or something. And I'm gonna cast a glance at Zed. Yeah, I bought that wrench for a very specific reason.
Zed is busy doing something else, maybe internally, or perhaps is purposefully ignoring you. You're not sure.
But look, just don't be too fancy gussy. You know, these guys probably just are here to pick up or do whatever. You know, they ain't paid well. They ain't got no unions out here. You know, they treat them like animals. I know how it is on these docks. So just let's go out there and don't make too many waves. And, you know,
Cool.
This is me saying it to, you know, a giant gray goo.
What does Reed look like when they're like just standing around? Is there a particular form that they take to put people at ease, or?
Yeah, I think there's the difference between like G'd at ease is like just a cloud essentially. Do they just kind of disperse based on the whatever that dispersal property is? Like I should know it, but I can't think of it right now. But I think to pass or to communicate with people, it definitely takes a human form and is very detailed. Like it has a very distinctive, if very plain face with like kind of an ashen gray color. So I can pass like if I'm in the shadows or something.
Are you like a poorly animated video game? When like the characters on the side that you're always sort of moving or something like that, or do you look? Are you very much like us?
We can hold perfectly still, but we found that it bothered people. So maybe we overcompensate. Like we breathe a little too much. Like it's a little too in and out. The movement's a little too like yeah.
Cool. I like it. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, you sort of like landed, you've got that, we get an external shot of the Liberty Queen as like, she sort of like landed, and we've got that smoke machine steam that sort of like comes out of ships when they've just landed, and we don't really know what it's for, and it doesn't really matter as the like the cargo sort of like bay is open, and the sort of like walk plank sort of like drops down to the deck of the cargo bay, and yeah, there's like 3 or 4 sort of people in like dirty overalls or like sort of like tech uniforms essentially there, and one of them's got like an electronic clipboard type thing. It's sort of like come down. I'm guessing you've got like a crate that you're bringing down with you to sort of like, that's the cargo that you're dropping off.
It has guns in it. They're mine.
Cool. Right.
And your sacrifice, your sacrifice will be appreciated, Duke.
No, I'm going to shoot people with them.
Like I said, your sacrifice takes expensive. Ammo's expensive.
Oh well.
Don't miss.
I don't.
Like we're ramping it down.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, there's these 4 or so people down there, and one of them's got the clipboard, and yeah, this person, they do look very bored with their job. It's reasonably masculine looking person, dark brown skin. They've got the Star Trek alien like nose ridges and a few like eyebrow ridges type thing going on, and sort of like coming down, and they're sort of medium height, and yeah, they're sort of like checking off and going, oh yes, consignment 346 says here sprockets and sprockets and elbows. Okay. Yeah, cool. Well, we just got to scan it and we can get it on board, and you folks are cool to sort of like head to the rec room while you refuel.
Appreciate it. You know how it is. They work us, tell us we got to make these deliveries in 8 hours. Well, takes 10 to get there. Doing the kind of the old man grumble, like yeah. And he's like, yeah, I feel you, man. And like one of the other folks there, they've got a thing that it looks a lot like the thing that they use in like procedural cop dramas, where it's like, okay, let's put the black light on there and see where all the spatters of blood were that they tried to clean up. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's bringing it out and he's going to use it to scan the crate. Like, that's what it's for. Does anyone like want to stop them or try and distract them?
No, I think we've like planned for this. Like, there's fake barcode basically on it that's like, yep, this is what it is.
Is that like a gear mover that we might have or something like that?
So let's have a look. So I think it's a case of not necessarily they're going to scan the barcode and go, oh yes, this is a box of elbows and sprockets. They've got a thing that's going to scan the box itself and like X-ray it to see what's in the box. Mm-hmm. So I think, yeah, you're all sort of like aware that that's what they're going to do. But if someone wants to...
Can I... oh, you can go ahead, Christo. All right, I was going to maybe throw a few of myself at it and maybe disable their X-ray device, because obviously if they X-ray this, we're fucked. So let's try to shut that down. I'm not sure if I can really do this. What do you guys think? I don't want to like... just give myself every ability.
I think that is a perfectly logical ability for a massive gray goo to have, to screw up another set of electronics, especially since
Yeah, I
you
think
would
so.
be messing up its waves with other waves.
Cool. So are you trying to sort of like do the communication thing and have it display a thing of going like sprockets and elbows, everything's good, or are you just going to have it like short out and have them go, oh, fuck, this is crap?
Oh, that's actually good. Maybe I just like, yeah, I'm gonna send like a pulse of like electromagnetism out at it that just shorts it, and it just like makes the screen like wave and flicker so that they can't actually read anything. It's just like a weird, like, huh, this thing must be malfunctioning.
Cool. All right. So what do we think is the biggest pressure here? Time, you've got to act quick, or like trying to keep it on the down low and trying to keep your cool?
Definitely trying to keep it on the down low so that they don't notice that I'm doing something.
Cool. So yeah, when you attempt to keep your cool under pressure or endure hardship, roll plus stalwart. So you can click on your character sheet where it says stalwart, and I'll load up what's the name here so I can see the roll. Any of your hooks you think coming into play here? What have we got for your hooks?
I don't
see.
think so for this one. And that's, well, it is Duke's weapons, I guess, and I do owe Duke my life, our many lives. But I'm not sure, like, because Duke's not like really directly threatened. It's just his weapons.
His guns.
Yeah, I'm not sure anything applies really.
I don't know. Would Duke have had said words of like, "These are my guns. Make sure nothing happens to my guns"?
I put Tallulah in there.
So I think there's stakes enough that if you want to take disadvantage, you could.
All right, sounds good. So it's I take a disadvantage to this.
Yeah.
Is there a way to roll?
Yeah, so when you click the roll button that's next to the stalwart stat, it'll pop up with a dialog box, and you can click on that and choose the disadvantage option, then hit roll. And a whole bunch of dice will hit the table, but don't worry, because the output will tell us the right thing.
There we go. Disadvantage. There it is.
Cool. All right. You get to mark XP.
Yes.
And let's have a look here. Since it's been a while since I've actually played my own game, on a 6-, I'll tell you one of the, or two of these. So I think you suffer one stress, mark off a stress, and a danger or hardship you are faced with. And I think that is basically, actually, we'll go with this. You suffer a stress and you have disadvantage going forward on your next roll. The device itself, you don't manage to do the thing of making it display information that you want it to display, but you do manage to short it out. So it's sort of like, you know, he goes to scan it and it just like starts the scan and then fritzes out and like sparks in his hands. He's like, ah, crap, and drops it. And he's like, ah, damn, shit. Franks, can you go and get me another scanner? We got to get this done. And Franks is like, oh man, it's all the way back in the other hangar. I really don't want to. And yeah, they're going to start having an argument about who's going to have to go and get this other scanner before you folks can go on with your day.
I'll look over at Point and then Theo, giving them the, should I kill them now? Look.
I just give the whole lot of, let's just like, hold on, is that one of those XJ27 Gamma Quad models? I mean, those things are a piece of shit. And I'm going to like pick it up and like, you know, pop it open and like pull out a screwdriver from my belt and just like start fiddling with it like I'm trying to fix it. And I've got the move jury rig.
Yeah.
I got like a little switch fuse and in my pocket. It's like, oh yeah, these things, they used a thallium oxide on there, but everyone knows those things like fucking blow up the moment you look at them wrong. I mean, they're already kind of like that. Yeah, they fucking treat us like that. They buy the cheapest piece of shit and then expect I'm trying to get them on our side. Like, yeah. But jury rigging this that way, it's going to show what we want on it.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like you're trying to roll jury rig. Are you also spouting techno babble to go for advantage?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So
All
yeah,
right.
roll your. I believe it uses calculating.
Yep.
At advantage.
All right.
Hey. All right. And what does it say for jury rig on an 8?
On a 7 and 9, you have to make do choose one. It won't take long to do it. We'll do exactly what you want. It won't break the first time you use it. I think it's just, I'm just going to pick the it does exactly what we want it to, which is, it's going to show like the, elbows and macaroni in there. Elbows and sprockets.
Nice. Cool. So yeah, I think it does take a bit, like you're sort of like, oh yeah, I got this, blah, 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 blah. But then it starts taking a little bit longer to fix than you would have thought. And you're starting to run out of things to say. And like a couple of them giving each other sort of like looks, sort of like, you could have gone and got the thing by now. It's taking a bit long. And someone's about to spout up and say, how about I just go and get the thing? And you're like, it's done. So yeah, they sort of like go to scan it. And they get through the scan, and it comes up, and it says elbows and sprockets, and then shorts out again.
Sorry, trying my best.
And they're like, well, and they're like, did it upload to the server? And he's like, let me check. And he's sort of like tapping through his things. And yeah, you've got an opportunity here if you want to push them one way or the other while he's looking at his thing to see if you can sort of like get them to ignore protocol a bit and just let you guys go and just tick it off.
And I think this is where Point sort of chimes in, because he's been like nervously tapping his foot and tapping on the crate that we're doing. He said, "Are you done yet? We have an appointment to make. We're on a time schedule here. I don't know about you. Yeah."
Sweet. Now, would you say that you're sort of like trying to intimidate them into doing what you want, or are you trying to manipulate them into doing what you want? Let's see. We'll look at the triggers and we'll see which one fits the best. Okay. So intimidate, when you use threats to bully someone into doing what you want, or when you use promises, guile, or charm to manipulate someone into doing what you want. So I guess depending on how you want to flavor it.
I think this is more intimidate, because I guess what I'm trying to imply is that somebody's waiting for this on the other side.
Yeah. So like, yeah, is it worth having to explain why you were delayed or why the shipment was delayed to whoever's higher up and doesn't really care that they were given suboptimal technology?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, cool. So yeah, you can definitely roll your volatile.
Nice. I like rolling volatile.
Cool.
So it's just a normal effect?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, unless there's any yeah. That's what you want.
There you go.
Nice. All right. So
an 11.
Let's see here. When they are an NP, oh no, it's all the same for intimidate. So on a 10+, they have to choose to force you to follow through and suck it up, or cave in and do what you want. And yeah, look, these guys don't have much reason to push back against you. They hate their job as much as you are able to pretend that you hate yours. And they're like, he sort of like looks at his tablet, and he looks at the box, and he looks at you lot, and he looks at his other mates, and he's like, screw it. And he just hits the button and says, like, looks good. All right, we'll get this into storage, and yeah, you guys can just head off to the cafeteria and wait for the refueling to finish.
Much appreciated, sir. Much appreciated. All right, let's go get a drink. I need a coffee piece of, just lead. The supervisor leading his team.
Yeah, cool.
And once we get the corner turned, it's like, fuck, can't believe that took so goddamn long. What's our time schedule like?
So yeah, two of the techs go to take over consignment of your big box of elbows and sprockets, and they're going to take it off to wherever they store stuff. How are you about that, Duke? You're all right? You'll know where things will be when you need them, or do you want us to like keep your hands on your precious guns?
Oh, well, I have more guns. That's my assault rifle, though. Tallulah. So I'm not super happy about letting it go. I really thought we were going to kill everyone. But fine, I'll go to the rec room. I still have my bladed weapon.
That's it. And you'll know where they are if things kick off.
Of course. Tallulah and I have a special connection.
Nice. All right. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, so you're left to your own devices to head to the rec room. You're given instructions on how to get there. Are you heading to the rec room, or is this time for the plan to kick in?
I feel like this is time for the plan to kick in.
Nice.
I mean, we still might get a cup of coffee on the way there, but
I am curious if they have Dig Dug, but otherwise we should go.
All right. So, yeah, you managed to go to the rec room on the way. They do have coffee. It's very bad. They don't have Dig Dug.
Fuckers need to die.
All right.
Side note, I'm swiping their coffee anyway because we have no coffee on our ship. We are fucking poor.
It's true.
So I've got those cargo pants. I'm just like stuffing some of those instant packets in there.
Good score. All right. Well, at least you got something out of this mission. Cool. So, yeah, what are your preparations like? Do you have like I think your client would have given you sort of like, okay, this is the location where the item that you need to pick up is in. You just got to get in there, get it out. I don't really care how. And yeah, so it's a case of like you're on your way. They do have people in the halls. It's probably a case of like if you bump into people, those people are going to have some questions about what you're doing here because you're not authorized to be in the area. What's the plan? What's the process for here? Are you sneaking along, or are you just like, what's the next step? Is it going to be more sort of like try and talk your way past people that find you, or are you going to try and be sneaky and avoid notice?
Should start sneaky.
Start sneaky? Sounds good.
The plan for failure.
I was going to say, we don't have an infiltrator or a scoundrel with us, so...
Yeah. I mean,
we always plan sneaky. We always end up going loud, but we at least try. And that's what matters. All
right. So, probably the move that suits this, and we'll describe the situation as we go. So yeah, you're sneaking along. The spaces in here are a mixture of steel corridors and gantries, and then it goes to like porous rock that's just been carved in like rectangular sort of like hallways, and then they have like the lights and everything are like just bolted on, and then they've just got the power like strung along them, and every now and then you've got like video cameras and little cameras and like speakerphones and stuff, so that they can like have announcements and alarms and stuff that go throughout the structure as you're heading in. And yeah, you're sort of like traveling along, and you get to a point where now you're trying to avoid the cameras, I'm guessing, or is this just going to avoid notice from people?
What if our first order of business is to take the cameras down? So we need to like get to the security station.
Yeah, good idea.
Or even subvert them so they're on our side now. I feel like we'd be probably leaning heavy on Theed for that one.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's a good first plan. So I think you're able to get to like a junction box or something like that if someone wants to try and hack into these cameras and get them displaying something that's not you breaking the rules. Who's leading that, and how are you doing it?
I think I'm taking the lead on that, but I'm asking Theed to like back me up, cover me on it. Cool. And the camera systems get as fancy as they want, but at the end of the day, their video signals transferred over wires. It's all a matter about trapping it in a feedback loop. So you just got to reroute the contained auxiliary flux and take that vortex and just have it just circle in on itself over and over, looping feeds. No big deal. No big deal at all.
Cool. All right. Sounds like you're once again going for technobabble and getting advantage on the roll.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, so the tension we're looking at here, is it a matter that you have to act quick to get it done without notice, or is it a matter of like it's staying cool under pressure?
I think it's going to be acting quick, because we've got a limited amount of time to get this done before someone comes by and goes, "What are you doing?"
Cool. Yeah, I would agree.
What's the mechanic for like an aid on this?
Yeah. There is the move. Let's see where I've got it. Okay.
It's lean on me, right?
Lean on me. That's what I called it. That's right. Yes. I forgot that I renamed it. I was looking for assist. Cool. So yes, lean on me. When you support a crew member's efforts in action before they roll, or offer them comfort in an intimate moment, roll plus stalwart. So I think this is more the former than the latter, but yeah, you can definitely roll stalwart to help them out.
Yeah. So Zreed, I think, is maybe at least channeling or trying to like shift the electrical currents so that they don't short out and fry on him and like totally short the system out. I'm trying to like keep it up and running while he's manipulating things and changing things out.
Yeah, cool. All right. So yeah, roll your stalwart and we'll see how well you help your friend.
Sorry, everyone.
That's right. All right. Let's see here. Well, you get to mark an XP. That's another XP for you.
I was going to say, how many more do you need to level up to get an advancement?
3 more.
So on Lean on Me, on the 6-, it's rough. You choose only one from this list. So the list says your efforts help them. They have advantage going forward. Your support brings them relief. They may clear 1 stress. Or you aren't pushed to your limits or exposed to danger or complication for your efforts.
I think I'm going to give him the advantage. So
Cool.
You can't clear stress because I don't think you have a stress anyway. But then I will be pushed. In some way,
that's it. So being pushed to your limits, I think mechanically, just take 1 stress for this one. I mean, it's written officially so I can do more stuff if I want, but for now we'll just have it as 1 stress. But what does it look like? What does Zreed have to put themselves through to achieve this task under such strenuous circumstances?
I think we lose some brave individuals who've sacrificed their life for the cause. So we send them out, and they kind of enter the mechanics of the situation. And there is a couple of shorts, and they manage to route it in a way that doesn't fry things, that doesn't totally shut the system down. It protects Theo from what he's doing. But unfortunately, they have sacrificed themselves for the greater good.
We'll all attend those funerals for them, I'm sure.
It is a sad day in the state of Zreed.
Yeah, they died in the line of duty. Cool. All right. So yes, you have advantage going forward, Theo. All right. Let's see here. Hey, nice. Okay. So for acting quick on a 7 to 9, you get to choose 1 from the list.
Okay.
So you do it, but.
Okay. I think I like we're doing it, and just this is an old station. The power just spikes at the wrong time, and it's like, so I'm going to be off balanced and kind of rushed on this job, just like just keep reaching in there because I got to finish the connection, but it keeps getting shocked. So my hand's gonna be a little numb going forward. So disadvantage.
Cool. Yeah, a little harder for whatever you do next. I like it. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, like both Zreed and Theo get shocked. So I think it's probably the same shock. Mm-hmm. It's like, bang, a bunch of innocent little nano machines die. And then, bang, you sort of like get shocked and your hands are numbed. But you do manage to reroute the feed. So the cameras are not going to give you away. Now all you've got to do is make sure that the people don't give you away and you're ready to sneak in. Who's leading the group moving further into the facility?
Well, we've been so successful being sneaky that obviously now Duke should lead the crew. We're getting near where there'll be violence, so yeah.
Cool. Duke's up front. Do you have any words for your team members before you move into what's a more dangerous situation?
We're about to go into a more dangerous situation. Don't worry, I'll kill everyone.
Do you have any words for any of the crew in particular? Let's see here. For instance, for Point or Theo or Shreed, actually, you've got a hook that relates to all of them, each of them.
Point. Just think happy thoughts and stay behind. Say, right? Yeah, just be careful.
I can do this.
I'm sure you can, but for now, I'm doing this. It's fine. We'll go through some combat sims later.
And I think this is triggering Point's frustration.
Absolutely.
And or disappointment, so I get a storm out of that.
Yeah, you sure do. Yeah, and yeah, be real proactive with Storm. If you think that you should get Storm, definitely put your hand up and say it, because it may slip my notice. And yeah, you're the one who knows the inner monologue for Point the best. So yeah, definitely bring that up when it happens. But yeah, definitely Storm in this point, so that puts a little fuel in the tank for you.
Mm-hmm. And I think fictionally, this might be like the guns in the crate suddenly shift.
Nice. All right. So yes, you start down the thing with Duke leading the way. You get to sort of like an intersection of corridors, and sort of like, one metal corridor leading in, and then 3 different other corridors leading off in different directions that go through this like porous rock of the asteroid. And as you sort of like come to the corner, you can hear a conversation that's just down the hallway of one of the paths. And like, you don't need to go down that hall, but you're definitely going to have to cross across it. So there's a chance that you might get spotted. What's the plan?
Duke is lead at this point, so I've got a good feeling on what the plan is. But take it away.
Point A to point B, quick, low, move fast. And he's already got his little vibro blade out.
I hate it when he does that. He uses my name in tactical terminology. Point A, point B.
Well, I mean, you're the one who chose a name that's so common. You might as well have named yourself an article.
We are going to talk when we get back. I did not name myself, yeah?
Cool.
Simmer down there, boys. Keep your voices low.
You take whatever name you want, Point. He didn't think of that. Okay, let's go.
All right. So I think the situation's interesting enough where we can either do it as one person leading the group could roll act quick to get across the thing, or like one person could roll assist to try and get the group across. Yeah, so obviously one person's leading. Is it Duke in the lead trying to get everyone across this thing without being spotted?
Yeah, I'm hoping we keep our cool as we head across. That's what
Sweet.
I'm planning on.
Cool. So yeah, you could roll lean on me, and I'll let this count as like you're giving advantage to the other 3, or yeah, you're helping the other 3 just this one roll.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So you don't have to roll 3 times. It's just sort of like setting it up. You're like priming them and getting ready to sort of like get them to go across at the right moment.
Okay. So I'll roll with Stalwart, which I'm pretty good at. I don't have advantage to normal effect. I got a partial success. I do what I can.
Very cool. All right. Let me just position stuff so I can see what I'm doing. There it is. Excellent. Okay. So
Yeah, I want to give advantage going forward to one or more. Can you double choose, by the way? Could I give advantage to 2 different PCs going forward?
I would say, yeah, it depends on the fictional situation. Since you were trying to help a group of people, if you're able to choose multiple times, and it depends on the situation. So I'll say you can choose to give advantage to, in this particular one, you try to help them all equally. And because it is the one shot, just to keep things flowing faster, I'm not going to make you roll 3 times. So that one time you can count, if you choose to give them advantage, it's giving advantage to each of them. But yeah, that means that you're just under that extra level of stress because you're having to push yourself a bit harder.
Well, I've got 2 choices. I'm definitely giving advantage to Point because he needs it.
Yeah.
I'll also give it to Theo because I trust Zreed a little bit more. We have that sacred bond going on.
Cool, cool. Reckon Zreed can pull it off. Nice. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I'll let you double choose it to spread it around.
Yay.
Nice. Okay. So who wants to roll first, getting across this gap?
Oh, I'll go first. This should be fun. Because I had disadvantage coming in. And so now it's going to be just a straight stalwart roll, which is just a straight roll.
Cool. So you're trying to do the like very sneaky, going quiet and making sure that you don't make noise and just keeping it all together.
Like I'm probably like, all right, like, all right. And at some point, I assume that Duke just kicks me in the ass, sending me across because I'm doing that. Like, all right, no, not yet. A little more. Like I'm trying to get like the exact pattern, the most optimum. Just waiting
for the signal that's never going to come.
Yep. So
hey, that's not a bad roll for disadvantage. Nice. All right. So on Act Quick, you, I believe, get to choose what happens to you.
All right. Let's see. Do it, but choose one. I think that kick forward, and I'm going to drop something.
Drop something. All right.
Yep.
I'll say it's a piece of gear. So just like on your gear slots, you've got 1 less gear. So you've only got 2 pieces of gear that you can choose from. You've left something behind, and we can sort of like we see you sort of like do the scramble across and get across, and you don't get spotted. And then we'll sort of like do the pan, and we see that something's been left behind. Once you've all sort of like moved across the thing, there's been something left behind there. Yeah. An essential piece of gear that we can flash back to when you're like, oh, geez, I wish I had that 3rd piece. Flash back. There it is, left in the hole.
Some guard picking it up. What the hell is this?
Yeah. And yeah, it just looks like some sort of technological device that we don't know. All right, who's getting across this gap next?
I think Point's probably last.
Point's last?
Duke doesn't like that. Oh, Duke's the last? You're like seeing us across, is that the idea? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Point's next. Keep you in the middle. That's where we protect the wizard in the party order.
Yeah. Go in. So if I'm rolling, so I had disadvantage because Duke had triggered my hook, but then Duke is giving me advantage, so it
just means you roll normal.
Evens out roll normal,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's what I thought.
And are you trying to keep you cool or act quick? Is this sort of like keeping it all together, or is this sort of like, I've got to get over there as fast as I can?
Well, I guess if Duke is pointing out the timing when I need to go across, then that's probably doing it as fast as I can. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Acting quick.
So is that slick?
Yeah, that's slick.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So I'm not like the other side doing the happy dance and saying, I did it, Duke. I did it.
You're graceful, swift, or acrobatic, and you do it. Cool. So yeah, how cool does Point look when they get across? Do they do a fancy move?
Oh, I think this is probably like a telekinetic boost, like kicked it.
Nice.
So it's like I didn't even touch the ground.
Nice. And Shreed, how are you getting across?
Do I just liquefy and like slide across as a puddle? Is that cool with everybody? Does that
Yeah, for sure.
I did take the unique movement. I don't know if you want me to trigger that and discharge it for this.
Yeah, you could definitely use unique movement instead. Absolutely. That suits
I'm
the situation.
I'm a little afraid of that roll with how things have been going.
I mean, it is using your alien, which is a much better stat than your slick, I'm sure.
That is true. It's substantially better. Yeah. How do I get this undischarged? How do I charge it back up?
So at the end of a scene, it will recharge automatically. If you're in a prolonged action scene, then you may need to like get yourself somewhere safe to roll the recover move, which will let you recharge it. But if you get like past these guys and move on to the next section, that would count as the end of a scene essentially until you get to the next danger.
Fantastic. Then yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Let's do it. Hold on, gotta find my stats on the sheet. There it is.
Nice. All right, so just go to the outside.
Yeah, on this it says on a 7 through 9, choose one. There's trouble waiting when I get there. Getting back won't be easy, or it takes longer than I expected.
Which do you want to choose from that?
It takes longer than I expected. All right, how about getting back won't be easy, but maybe in this context, it's getting back to like a form that passes as human. So maybe I'm kind of stuck as a puddle for a little while, or
I like that.
somewhere in between a puddle and a human. So I'm gonna stand out for a little bit.
Yeah, you're more in the literal form of grey goo.
Yeah, like if somebody saw me right now, it would not be good because they would definitely know that something's up.
I mean, it works really well because another touchstone for making the outsider was Odo from Deep Space Nine. So
yeah,
cool. Alrighty, and last of all, let's see, Duke. Everyone else is across.
Yeah, so it's time for me to make a fuss, right? I want to keep my cool and stay nice and cool and move across. That.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Oh, I'm super successful.
Loved it. Cool. All right. So yeah, you're all past this this pair of people having a chat, and you haven't drawn their attention at all. So you're still on the DL, and yeah, you're getting closer now. I think you're getting close to the center of the asteroid. So gravity's starting to like as you get closer to the center of the asteroid. Of course, there's less asteroid pulling on you. So yeah, like gravity's much lighter than it used to be. It's not gone entirely, but yeah, there's a lot less of it now. And yeah, you're sort of like able to do sort of like the those sort of like bounding leaps and stuff. So you're still getting a general pull, but it's much less. And yeah, you're sort of like coming to an area, and you've got a so it opens up into a larger area, and it's sort of like got the porous, this porous stone that it's all carved out in this massive cavernous area. And you can see on the walls where it's got like the marks from the gigantic drills that they use to just like hollow out this asteroid essentially. And you can see lots of like crisscrossing gantries that just go across this massive empty space inside the asteroid. And there's like these hexagonal sections that are like a series of rooms all sort of like connected together. And on your little map, you can see that you've got to get to like a particular hexagon that's like quite a ways across, and you've got there's the direct route, which is like going AG and just like trying to float there directly, or you can crisscross along all of these gantries to try and get there. What's the plan? Are you going to go direct, or are you going to try and take the slower, less, the slower, more anchored route, I guess you'd call it?
Are there any people on the catwalks or anyone around? Like, I know we've passed a couple patrols, a couple security checkpoints. But like now that we're here inside, Are they still super security focused, or they're like, if you made it this far, you belong here?
That's a very good question. There's some information you can get from that if you would like to scope out the situation.
I believe I will be scoping this out. And that is roll plus calculating. Just going to be a basic roll.
Ooh, you get to mark experience.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Yes, I do.
You still get to mark experience.
Yeah, it didn't pop up on my side, so.
Cool. Yeah. So let's see. On a 6 minus, I get to do whatever I like. So I think you sort of like you can see that there are people walking across the gantries at a very far distance, and you can sort of like see, yeah, like there's a number of people moving around. The security cameras are still here, but you've got them routed to like display just normal feed. And yeah, like everything just looks like people going about their business. But you don't get any particular leads on any good information.
People are walking around on catwalks, so they probably
Actually,
don't. Oh.
On a 6 minus, ask one, but you won't like the answer.
I just gotta say, I love that. I love that interpretation of a fail on like a discern realities check or whatever. That it's so good.
Yep.
Cool. I always love this one. Who or what here is not what they seem?
Very good.
I always love giving the GM permission to fuck with my perception of what the world should be right now.
Yep. So who or what here is not what they seem? I think it's at that point, like you're just sort of watching for a moment, and then there's sort of like across the comms speakers that are around, you get sort of like a short blaring blast alert. It's not an alarm sense, but more sort of like a you know, those big horns that they used to have when it's like the end of a shift. So one of those blurts out and everyone sort of stops or like clips themselves onto a gantry or something like that. And then all of the gantries in the middle, and the hexagonal shapes, so like, yeah, they also like spiral out of these hexagonal shapes and the shapes start turning and the gantries themselves all sort of like shift around and all of the positions of these gantries change. And it's like everything's in motion and everything's still in motion. Like it's a fairly slow process. Otherwise, the people that are on the gantries, especially if near the end of one of them that's moving, would just get whiplash really bad. So yeah, everything's sort of like moving at this point and now nothing's connected. And you're like, this is going to take a while. And like, yeah, like, you know that you're running out of time with that feed before someone goes, hang on, that person has been walking down that corridor for the last 10 minutes and like the same person keeps on going past, so you know you're running out of time.
Duke, you're on point on this one, so
yeah, that's
the technical term, not you point.
Ha.
Yeah.
Look, you guys are going to be the first ones in. Do we want to wait? We've only got like 10 more minutes for someone starting.
I'm charging this guy. I'm taking him down.
I like the idea. I looked down at my watch. It's like, we only got 10. Look up. Duke's gone already.
Cool. All right.
I feel like this encapsulates our relationship very well.
Yeah.
It's why we're so successful.
Very cool. All right, so Duke's just sort of like leaping out into this slow ballet of moving gantries to like take down a nearby guard and just charge directly towards the goal.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I think you have the advantage of surprise, so it's not necessarily a firefight straight away. You could either acquire target, or if you've got a move on your list that you would prefer to use, you could go for that.
My moves are... Wow.
I mean, what's Juggernaut? Juggernaut might fit in.
Yeah, I was looking at Juggernaut. Yeah, there's reaching a goal. Like my options are taking less harm, clear, uncover a way through for an ally. That's what I'm after. So I think Juggernaut fits really well here. Let's go ahead and roll Stalwart. And I'm discharging the move. Boop.
Nice.
And no advantage or disadvantage, just a normal roll, right?
Yes, unless you want to activate one of your hooks.
No. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll activate the hook. I'm trying to watch out for poor Point. I see Point, and Theo is just like, oh, we had to hurry.
Well, yeah, I think that one probably applies here,
Teach you
because
how
Theo
you
is
get
like trying to let's talk about this and have a proper discussion and come to a thoughtful thing. You know, no, Theo, I'm going to teach you how to be strong.
We have to do this. So I'll take this disadvantage for the hook. And I still got a partial success. So with a partial success on Juggernaut, weirdness creeps in at the edges. I mark one stress and get to choose one. I'm going to clear or uncover a way through for an ally. They have advantage going forward, following me. And I will mark my stress.
Nice. All right. So let me see here. You clear or uncover a way through for an ally. They have advantage going forward, following you. Who is it that you're giving the advantage to? Is it to Theo?
Yeah, it's Theo, because he's the hook. So
cool. So yeah, you just like barrel straight ahead, and I think sort of like you do a thing where you have to sort of like, you know, you go for one gantry, you grab onto it, and then you use that to spring off and go to the next gantry as you sort of like heading as directly as possible towards your goal. But it's, yeah, sort of like a doot, doot, doot. But yeah, instead of like running along these gantries for the most part, you're actually doing it in 0G and flying along.
yeah, I've been trained for that.
Yeah, 0G combat.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Who's following Duke? Or who has a different method that they want to use to get there?
I'm just gonna kind of sigh and like dig in my bag, and I'm gonna mark off a slot of a gear use item.
Yep.
And I want it to be like not so like a jetpack, but it doesn't have to be like, you know, full jetpack. Just like a little small propulsion device for like getting around on an asteroid. So, you know, propulsion built.
I know what it is. It's like a gas tank from like a butane torch or something like that. So you just
pretty
like
much. Yeah, I just got like 2 cans of compressed air attached to a belt, and it's like, and it just moves me because it's quick. It's physics. I know that physics. I'm just gonna physics my way across.
Nice. All right. Do you feel like you're acting quick, or is there another thing that you're trying to do?
Let's see. I think I've got to keep my cool because everything's spinning in motion. I've got to like get my way through it.
Yeah, I think there's probably a good chance that like there would be a sense of vertigo for someone not trained in this sort of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll let you roll keep you cool.
Yeah. I've read enough Ender's Game though, so you know, enemy's gate is down.
Yep.
So stalwart, and I've got advantage from Duke. All right. Let's see how this works. All right, partial success. So 7 and 9, choose one. I think I'm going to get stressed out by this just a little bit. Just a touch, you know. I nearly get my head taken off by one of these damn catwalks.
Yeah, I like it. Like there's this catwalk sort of like swinging by, because it's like at the very end of one of these catwalks, so it's moving much faster than it would be at the center of its point of movement. So yeah, so like zings by you, and we sort of like see the feet of someone that's like, you know, just holding onto the catwalk, as they sort of like zing up, and like you look up and you see them, but they don't look down and see you, and you're like, oh geez, that was a lot closer than I expected.
Love it.
All right. And how is Sharida moving through it? Your unique movement has had, like we're in a new scene now, so it has automatically refreshed.
So I was going to ask about that. So that's every time you use like one of your unique moves, you discharge it until the next scene?
That's it. Yeah, yeah. Everything refreshes at the next scene.
Yeah, in that case, I'm gonna swarm, I think, and just like pool out and disperse in this entire room, and I will collect myself back at, or collect ourselves, I suppose, back at the bottom of this chamber, probably next to Duke, getting ready to fight if need be.
Sounds
So
good.
I'm gonna discharge that again and roll alien again.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's what you want. Let's see here. So
Yeah,
unique
so I
movement.
get there, no problem.
You just do it. Nice. Yeah. Easy peasy. So yeah, we see Duke's feet sort of like plant themselves on the gantry outside of this hexagonal shape. What's the dodecahedron? I guess it'll be a dodecahedron. And like you plant your feet on this gantry, clank, and you're there. And then in comes Theo with his little jet things and sort of like whoop, and then grabs on and hauls himself over. And we get Point. Your movement was pretty. Let's see here. Point still needs to get there. Yes.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Point's actually last this time around. So yeah, Point. I think Point will just repel himself off. With like maybe a telekinetic nudge or something like that.
Cool.
Try and push himself forward.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do it with class and style.
Nice.
So
I like to imagine you say class and style on screen, and then it like split screens to watching Theo just like circle around, like a majestic swan through Jello.
Is class and style Point's maximum effort? Before they do so, they're always like class and style.
So what do I need to roll? Stalwart?
I don't know. Do you think you're keeping your cool, or are you acting quick?
Oh, I think I'm acting quick and impulsively.
Cool. Yeah.
So slick?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think, do I have any disadvantages? I don't think so. Did Duke put me down again? Am I hooked again?
I don't think Duke had a chance to say anything. Theo was going to go on a spiel, and you're like, okay, here we go. It's the talkie time. And then Duke's just like,
yeah.
Oh, you've had some real rough rolls today.
Oh, ouch.
Oh, no.
So much XP.
A little off, I guess.
Yeah. You got to be getting close to getting oh no.
No, that's my first one actually.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, you've been getting 7s the other time. Okay, yeah, we get to mark XP, so enjoy that one. And yeah, I think you like boost off, but you boost off straight into a gantry, and you just like collect yourself on this gantry, and it like makes a good loud clanging noise as you hit it. And yeah, you sort of like do yourself a bit of an injury. It's only 1 harm. You can either take that harm, and I would recommend taking it as the scratched and bruised, or you can just convert it straight to stress.
I'll take the scratched and bruised.
Cool. Yeah, so you just mark that off in the harm section on the character sheet. But yeah, it made a bit of a clang. And I think you can see that there's a person on another gantry that's heading towards you, whose head has turned around, and they've spotted you. But they haven't called out yet. You've got a chance to do something about it.
Am I too far away to telekinetically push them off?
I don't think so. I think you can do a TK push to them.
Okay.
Now, do you think that like hitting this has like caused you any frustration or anything like that? Do you want to take an extra storm?
Oh, I'm sure it has, because Duke was watching, and this is, I'm trying to make it look like I'm better than they think, which is my hook. So, I don't know. Do I take the disadvantage for that if I do that? But yeah, so this is.
It's up to you. Like, if you think one of your hooks apply, you can say, yes, I want to play into my hook here, and we see how that affects your character. But if you want to say, I don't want to play into the hook and take disadvantage, then you can show us how your character resists how they would normally fall into that pattern.
Yeah, I think point is, I've got to do something before Duke sees. And so it's like going to reach out and like push the guy to compensate fast.
Cool.
Maybe make that guy slam into another one so that the sound sort of seems to come from him.
Yeah, cool. I like it. All right, give us a TK push.
Okay.
And you can spend Storm, I think. Let's see here on the ways to spend Storm. If you want to give yourself advantage, is one of the ways, I believe.
Oh, sweet. Well, since I just took the third one, yeah, that's the third one up, and I'll spend one then right away. Sure, why not? That way I don't have to go all explosive. If that's how it works.
Yeah, you have advantage on this roll. It's one of the ways you can spend Storm.
Sweet. I will do that. Got to impress Duke.
Nice. So, TK Force on a 7 and 9, your intentions are muddled. I get to choose one from the list.
So instead of pushing him, I could accidentally pull him towards me. That's great.
Let's see here. So, the choices I have is it's sent flying back as though from a forceful blow. It floats or moves a short distance. It's pulled towards you. Yeah, I think, yeah, like you sort of like, I'm going to push him. But yeah, you just yank him off of the gantry. And like he gets yanked off. And like he's got the tether on there, but that snaps with the amount of force and like jerks him. And like just the sheer force of him being pulled off, we do get a Wilhelm scream out of him. But yeah, then he's sort of like tumbling and floating towards you. And you've got to like, yeah, he's like flailing around as he's coming at you.
I think like back on the platform, like we're watching this and I just look at Duke. It's like, and this is how you teach him to handle problems.
I'll draw out my pistol and try to shoot this guy.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I don't think he's got an opportunity to shoot back, so it's not firefight. You can acquire target to take this dude out.
Sure, let's do it. I'll acquire target. I'm rolling calculating. I don't think it's advantage or disadvantage, so here we go. It's a flat roll for me. That's a miss.
You get your XP.
Yay.
All right. So
do I have to mark, when I get an XP, do I mark this thing called advances on the character sheet?
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. That's a thing that I'll need to update on the Roll20 character sheets.
I was being a smart aleck.
I was going to ask that. You just got ahead there because I was thinking, I don't see XP on here somewhere. I'm being stupid. Where is it?
No, you're not being stupid. Advances.
Yeah. For the longest time, I used to call them advances, and I had some reasoning behind it. But for ease of use, it just doesn't make sense. XP, everybody knows the language. So I have changed it since then. But obviously, there's a few legacy things that need to be updated. So Roll20. Cool. That's a thing that I can update later on. Cool. So, yeah, you hit the guy, and, yeah, you take him out. Is this a lethal shot? Were you intending a lethal shot?
Yes.
Cool. So you hit him. He starts tumbling sort of like obliquely away from everybody. So he's going to like bounce off a wall somewhere. But the sound of the shot rings out. And like there's other people on gantries and someone else looks over and they see where most of your crew is. And they're running to set off an alarm. And they're at like a very far distance. They'd be like you would call it sniping range, essentially. They're quite far away.
My sniper rifle's in the box.
Is that the one that's got the pet name?
No, this Tallulah's my assault rifle. My sniper rifle is in there as well. No one likes the name for the sniper rifle, so I just call it the sniper rifle.
Cool. All right.
I call it
Janine.
I like the optics on it.
Cool. So yeah, there's someone who's running who's going to hit the big red button that sets off the alarm for the place. if someone, yeah, and they're at sniping range for the group that are at the location that you want to be at. But I would say that point is a bit closer if there's something you want to do. Point.
Do you want to pull them close?
Pull them close for a kiss of death.
Theo's just like, I see where this is going. I know I better get started on this now. Just turning in and starting to work on getting in.
Well, question. So I've already used my telekinetic, so it's discharged, isn't it? So I can't use it again, can I?
You could try and recharge it with recover. That could cost you time though. So there is a good tension there. If you wanted to recharge it so that you could use it, there's a possibility you will have it ready in time to do something about the person running to hit the alarm. But there is a possibility, depending on how well you roll and recover, that you may miss the window. But yeah, you can definitely roll recover anyway, because you can also use that to heal harm.
Oh, or I could just use a pistol.
Or you could just use a pistol and yeah, no, that'd be in range for you to use a pistol and shoot the guy.
Okay, it's just like, what does my gear have? I don't have a sniper rifle, can't do that. I've got a pistol. Okay, yeah, okay. So I think it's like time to like, okay, the TK is not working very well. Time to just be simple, right? Go for the simple.
Now, I'll give you two options here. You can either sort of like try and take them out quiet so that it's not a firefight, but you'll be rolling calculating. Or you can go, hey, you, and try and get in an exchange of fire with them so that it's a firefight, but that's going to be louder as well. But yeah, while they're shooting at you, they're not hitting the big red button.
Okay, well, I think I'm getting sort of agitated, so it's going to be like, so, hey, you, yeah, over here, idiot. And hopefully they get them to pause and I can take the shot.
Nice. I like it. All right. So, yeah, feel free to roll firefight because they may shoot back.
And so what am I rolling with? Is that volatile?
That is volatile.
Yes. And it's at normal, right?
And don't forget, you can spend storm.
Oh, but if I spend it, then it goes down.
And if you miss, you get one.
Yeah, but so if I spend it, then I can go up to it. I can up it to an advantage.
Yeah.
I can spend it on anything, on any move. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, when you spend the storm, you can do it on. Yeah. So yeah, you spend storm when you choose, and you can do it on any particular move, so long as it fits the trigger for. Let's see here.
Oh, but no, but then I have to be defying authority or an order, don't I? Because I chose to be
let's see here. When you lash out destructively, you may spend one storm and choose one of the following additional effects.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, shooting at this guy and trying to get his attention to get in a firefight feels more destructive than just trying to like quietly ping him off. So I would say that you could be lashing out destructively.
Okay.
Especially if you describe yourself being more destructive.
Sure. If that gives me an advantage, I'll do it.
Cool.
Getting hot under the collar here. Oh.
Nice. So on a firefight, you exchange harm, so they do shoot back. And they've only got a pistol too, so it's only one harm coming into you, and you can either like mark off some body armor if you've got that to absorb the blow, or you can just mark another harm, or you can convert that harm to stress. Or in firefight, you can play a KG as one of your choices and suffer -1 harm. You can discharge your weapon, and pistols come with discharge, so you can deal double the harm, which is 2 harm. This guy, he's just like, yeah, he's a security guy. He's not a proper soldier. So you know that, like, you know, your pistol's probably going to take him out in just one exchange. There's also you hold a position or hold an advance. You make an advance or force your enemy out of cover. You impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy. And you're able to disengage and take a moment to recover. So you can actually use this as an opportunity to get yourself somewhere safe so that you could then roll the recover move and try and recharge stuff.
Okay. And I'm trying to figure which of these would actually keep him from doing the alarm. So even
two of them would be killing him, discharging your weapon, and that would be enough to kill him for sure. Or if you didn't go for the killing blow, you could also halt an advance. You would halt their advance towards the thing. You would basically pin them down with your fire, and they're more concerned about staying alive than they are pressing the button.
No, I think this is going to be do the discharge then and hit him, do double harm, because I'm trying to impress Duke.
Cool. So let's see. On a 10+, you get to choose 3 of these options. So you kill the guy. He stops doing the thing. Do you also want to play at KG and suffer -1 harm? Because pistol does 1 harm.
Play KG and suffer 1 harm as compared to. So I want to get across. I want to use this to get across. If that's one of the things I can do.
Let's see here. You make an advance or force your enemy out of cover. So you could choose make an advance, and that could be you sort of like doing the John Woo, only it's in 0 gravity, so it's triple John Woo. Of like, you know, firing at him as you're flying through this open space.
Perfect.
Lovely.
I'm doing the John Woo because I got to impress Duke.
That's it. Very cool. And you've got 1 choice left from that list.
Well, is it just the one guy or are there more?
The one that was going for the alarm was just 1 guy, but there's more people, and they're probably all starting to draw their pistols and stuff as well.
So maybe that's I halt their advance.
I'll pin them down as well. Yeah, cool. I like it. So yeah, you managed to like get yourself over to where everyone's at the door trying to get in, and there's these others that were going to like be taking pot shots at you, but then you're like, oh no, stay down, and you're like just firing crazy with your pistol as you sort of like land there. Does anyone try and catch point as they come in, or Duke's on it?
I don't want to hog it, but that would be a thing I would do.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, I think you could either roll lean on me or maybe stoic wall, depending on how you want to play it.
Oh, I want to use stoic wall. Stand defiant to defend another from violence or harm. That sounds fun.
Cool. I like it.
Cool. All right, let's do that roll. That's awesome. I get an advance.
You sure do.
Which is another name for XP.
So yeah, mark that XP, also known as an advance. Yeah, so like point comes in super hot, like you're like, I'll catch you point, I got this, and like they slam you back a lot harder than you expected. Like I think yeah, it's enough to wind you, and yeah, take 1 harm from the blow. It was a lot stronger than you were expecting. Caught you off guard.
I'll move that to stress.
Nice. Yep. Cool. So yeah, I think like you would have bashed your head against something quite hard, giving you a bit of a scratch or shaking you up a little bit, but you managed to sort of like, you know, reach back and brace yourself or whatever, and it's just like a matter of dispersing that force that takes a lot of effort out of you, leaves you a bit winded. How are the other folks doing on getting this door open to get into this this shape?
I think you're taking point on this one.
In getting
Also,
us through the door?
Yeah, also I haven't heard anything from you. So I want to see how you gray goo this up.
So maybe I'm just going to, I'm going to have to recharge myself. So that's the recover roll, right?
Yeah. I think you've got an opportunity with all the heat on everyone else. You've got a chance to like turn into a little ball down somewhere and try and like recharge yourself.
Let's see, where's that at?
Let's see. In the document, it is page
Found it.
21.
Okay. Stalwart. All right.
So let's see, for recover on a 7 to 9, you take a little too long, choose 2, but your enemy gets a chance to get into a bit better position or prepare themselves.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, actually.
Cool.
Then I will choose ready a move, obviously. And one use of a tactical
Did you have any harm?
I did not have any harm. I just have stress.
Can you pick the
And
same move twice?
can I do that?
I mean, yeah, if you have more than one thing discharged, you can
Yeah, I don't.
recharge.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll take that, and I guess then I'll take the first aid. I don't have a use of a tactical pack either, do I?
Your character might have tactical pack in their gear.
I don't think that was an option, but let me go back and check.
I'll have a look at outside of here. Tactical armor, but no tactical pack.
Yeah. All right. Well, I might just burn that other one then.
Yep. It was one that you
So-
didn't necessarily need, but you've got your unique movement recharged.
Right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn myself into like a molecular flow, and I'm just gonna go through the cracks in this doorway. And I'm gonna get onto the other side, and then I'm just gonna push the open button.
Cool. Okay.
No matter how many times I see that, it still freaks me out.
It's disgusting. Sweet.
And I think like the entire time, like Theo was like working on. I was like, all right, I just gotta bypass the beep, and the door opens. Like, or we could just do it your way.
All right. Well, we've got to see how well he gets there with the roll for unique movement.
That doesn't trigger the abyss for any of us, does it?
No.
Good question. Have you lot seen Shreed do anything like that before? Like, is this a common practice for Shreed to do?
I feel like Theo has probably seen him do this plenty of times, considering how often they're around each other.
Yeah, I
Like
think if you guys know the general molecular nature, I don't think this would quite like freak anybody out. I think we can save the abyss staring for more terrifying things, more terrifying scenarios.
Okay.
Nice. All
So I
right.
accidentally rolled twice. I'm good with either of those results.
Yeah, we'll take the first one.
Right.
So you get your 11.
Fantastic. Then everything, yeah, I'm going to discharge that. Everything goes well, and I just slip through and pop the door open.
Sweet. So yeah, you're able to not necessarily pop the door open by a panel on the inside of the room, because there's no panel to open the door from the inside, but you get in the mechanics of the door and you can just press a button to open it and then reform yourself out, which means that everybody can see the prisoner that is kept inside the center of this this large shape. And when you look in, it's this flowing, pulsing blob of matter. It's not exactly the same color as your friend Shreed, but it has like more of a sort of like a black onyx finish to it, like black glass. And Shreed, you immediately know that this is your enemy, Quellish, and they are the prisoner of this organization.
And are they what we're supposed to be picking up?
Yeah.
I'm going to immediately broadcast on our private radio channel of just this is a bad deal. We should just eat this cost and go.
No, we can't do that. Got a
I
job
mean-
to do.
I mean, if they're dead when we drop them off, we can just say we found them like that.
Pycea will be pissed if we hose this job due to a personal vendetta. Plus, think of what you can hold over them. Right? They'll owe you.
Always make sure someone owes you a debt. That is the pro strat on this.
This will not go well. We wish it to be known that it will not go well. We are a dissenting vote, but we will.
I'd like to manipulate. Yeah, I'd like to. Actually
I
just
think
engage
there's
the
enough
system.
tension here for someone to manipulate someone else. So if you want to get Shreed on board, manipulate definitely sounds like a good move.
Awesome. I'm mostly doing that, one, because it's the system, and number two, if I successful, I can offer you an XP. So the bad news is that we roll with slick, which means unhost.
Now, have you got any hooks playing into the situation? What's your hook with Reed?
Well, got a sacred bond going on here. I'm trying to help them out.
Cool.
So
yeah. Are you playing up to that? Do you want to take that disadvantage?
Let's do that. I'm rolling with a -1 and disadvantage. This is going to go very well. And it does. I got a 4.
Well, you get the XP.
Yay.
So on a 6-, be prepared for the worst. Whether they are a PC or NPC. So Reed, like you have the ball's in your court. Like Duke overplayed himself here. He's like put too much out there, left himself well open for you, where you can just act and do something if you want, and you've got a chance to jump in there and just do whatever. Or you can like push your point of like, we should definitely not go through with this. Or you can just be a dissenting voice. Play it as hard as you want.
We refuse to allow this entity to escape its bonds. You all are not aware of what it is capable of. However, we are, and we are terrified of it. You cannot ask us to do this. We cannot allow this to be freed. And I think at that I'm gonna spend a gear. If you guys are cool with this, I'm gonna like quote unquote draw a sword, but I'm just like my arm is extending into a molecular blade.
Cool.
Going to Terminator on us.
Yep.
Nice.
I think Theo is like kind of like not even paying attention to what's going on. He's like trying to get the research data on this that they've gotten, because this is a mystery that he's really been wanting to do, and he's like respected Thee because, you know, or Z because, you know, mostly because they could kill him in his sleep and they keep the ship clean, you know, mutual, but owes nothing to this guy. Might as well start getting some data and answering a couple of those questions that have been burning on his mind.
Cool. So you're all for just going in and genociding Quellish? Is that the angle that you're trying to play? Or is it to like...
This is getting to that scientific curiosity, like, if I can unlock like how to like control a gray goo, the world's my oyster. We wouldn't care about being in debt to anyone. We could make our own ships out of asteroids. We could make gold out of water. Yeah. Just
So are you trying to manipulate Shreed, or are you... What's your intent? What is Theo trying to get out of it?
like they're in what's very obviously they captured what is this thing's name? I'm sorry.
Quellish?
Quellish, yes. They've captured Quellish, obviously to study. Because I'm assuming like Quellish is like hooked up to all these things. They're in a containment unit, and there's like monitors with data and readouts and all sorts of fun things all around.
So are you trying to steal the data?
Yes. Like Zeed and Duke are starting to fight about this.
And you're like, cool, you two can fight. I want the data.
Yes.
Okay. You could either share expertise, consult your accumulated knowledge on something you're an expert in if you want to know a thing, or you could scope it out if you want to like get a read on the situation as a whole of like Quellish being captured in this shape.
Yeah, and
So,
that's what I want to do. I want to scope it out.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. So that's roll plus calculating, but I'm triggering the hook because that's like driving me to the point where I'm doing something very stupid at the moment.
Yep.
Okay. And got a 4, which honestly I was kind of hoping for the miss because I want the who's really in control here answer. And I'm not gonna like it. And I know what I want, but I'm hoping you'll pick up the wavelength.
I think I see where you're coming from here. When you're asking who's really in control here, are you asking is Quellish in control here?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, the answer is that yes, this wasn't necessarily a prison. The readouts that you get is that this like this shape that there's a part of Quellish in. Each of these shapes contain a part of Quellish, and it's like a larger network, and it's allowing them to like gather data and think at an exponentially higher rate. And like, yeah, they are definitely like manufacturing this thing, and you've been sent to capture like a small part, and like the information that you're getting is the small part you're trying to collect is an insurgence within the machine regime, the despotic machine regime. This is a resistance that you're trying to free from the regime. Yeah, you got the lead from Picea satellite. So yeah, you get this information that Quellish as a whole is in control here. But yeah, this little section is what got in contact with Picea, who has sent you along to get this little thing out. Like they're defectors. It's a colony of defectors that want to make their own sovereign nation.
That Zed is about to destroy. Yeah, there's gonna be some loud yelling going on.
All right. So
maybe too late though.
So, well, yeah. What happens? So, where's everyone else at? What's the situation with everyone else whilst Theo's been collecting this information? Are you still at the standoff, or has Point jumped in on a side?
I think it's moving to the point where I'm like, we have to destroy this entire place. This must be the new mission.
That's a terrible idea. We won't get paid for that. Also, my guns are in a crate in storage.
And what's Point's way in on this?
Well, and I was going to ask, so then what did Theo convey of this, of what he's understood?
I think like everyone gets to say or do something before Theo drops the bomb.
Well, so then I think what Point's seeing from this is he's looking at this and he's thinking that Zelish is being experimented on, and that's making that's reminding Point about when he was experimented on. So he's getting really emotionally distraught by this. So he's taking another storm. I don't know, and I think everybody's seeing him getting nervous, and he's starting to tap and like look nervously back and forth, and looking at the containment of Zelish, and he's probably moving towards the idea of letting Zelish go.
Cool. And you're also like you're starting to hear the clang and clatter of people like moving around on the gantries, and they're getting in position, like they're ready to start another firefight with you, whilst you're all arguing and doing your own thing down here as well. So I think that you're in a unique position to sort of notice that as well, that things are about to get much hotter, depending on what happens. And now Theo can drop the bomb.
Guys, this isn't Quellish. And like pause, let everyone turn like, what the fuck? This is a resistance inside Quellish that's wanting to escape. This entire asteroid is Quellish. We need to leave now.
You're saying, so this is a prisoner within Quellish.
Yes. This is someone who desperately wants to get out of here. And if we don't get them out of here, Quellish is going to kill every single one of them.
Then we have-
Realizing, oh, go ahead.
Go on if you've got it.
I think realizing this, Jreed will immediately like switch gears, right? And if what you say is true, then we must establish contact with them. We can offer them a refuge within our boundaries, within our borders.
Are you going to offer them political asylum?
Yeah.
Cool.
But then we must blow up the rest of this place.
Yep. Nice. So yeah, there's definitely like, is everyone else on board with that? Like, what's the rest of the group think of Shreed reaching dissidents of Quellish?
I mean, that technically fulfills the mission.
It's a little
them outta here.
sexy. It's a little sexy, but I'll allow it.
I mean, Zaid can't keep it in their pants.
Yeah. You give me, but then this. Okay.
You're just like, I gotta get my crate of guns. They're back there. I gotta get my guns.
Yeah, dude.
Cool.
All right, look. You two find us a way out of here. You offer political asylum. I'm going to see what I can dig up here. And I'm like starting to try to get into their systems and figure out what I can do, if anything.
Nice. All right. Well, we're coming up on the 2-hour point, which would be, or is it 3-hour point? Let's see. Started at 3.
Yeah.
4.
It's a 3-hour.
3-hour point. So I think this is a really good point where we can like have a climactic roll that will set up our finale, and then we have a quick bio break.
Oh, that's great. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So where's our biggest point of tension right now? I feel like it's what's going to happen with Shreed and the dissidents, but it could also be what's going on with the other people that are on this asteroid that are getting ready to shoot at you all.
I feel like
What's
it's
the
got to
middle?
be it's got to be like this is a democratic process. There's a lot of political we're gonna have to send like an emissary over, and they're gonna have to
Delegation.
send us back. It's gonna take a little bit. So we need to know how much time we've got, which is whether these dudes are busting down this door or not. So I gotta throw it to point.
Cool. So, I mean, it's a good stakes setting role then if someone wants to scope out the situation of all of our different like points of conflict coming in together.
Oh my goodness, that is great.
For people watching the recording, Pharrell has just typed in chat, we're going to build a wall and we're going to make Quellish pay for it. So, yeah.
This is going to go well.
Yeah.
So you were saying scope it out in what sense? I wasn't clear on that. We're scoping out.
So just in the sort of like all of the different balls that are up in the air, if you want to try and find some advantages of like the dudes that are going to be attacking you, dealing with the dissidents, dealing with Quellish as the like system that's in this asteroid overall, there's a lot of different questions that can be asked in regards to all that sort of stuff. If someone wants to scope it out so that we can set some stakes that we can smash ourselves into in the last hour.
And I'm going to use the expert move to offer advice and expertise so they have advantage going forward.
Nice.
Physics, engineering, technology, and devices. Yeah, I think that covered pretty much everything on this asteroid.
I think so, yeah, absolutely.
Well, what are we trying to scope out? I guess might define who does it. Do we need to have like the schematics of this place or something like that, or do we not have them, or what's going to help us get through this?
Well, that'll so you can roll when you roll the move, you can set the stakes of what you want to know about. But when you ask the questions after rolling, so you want to scope out this entire situation on both sides. Or you can say, I want to scope out, like if you wanted to have 2 people roll, you'd say one person wants to scope out the situation going outside of the whole Quellish thing, and then another person could roll for the situation going on with the Quellish side of things. If you wanted to go for sort of like what's going on with the people that want to shoot at us and what's going on with the grey goo thing that either wants to absorb us or defect from the primary grey goo.
I expect that Duke would be the one to do the people shooting at us, and maybe Quellish would be the one doing the one on, not Quellish, sorry. Reed would be doing the one on Quellish.
That sounds good, yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me hit that then. I've got advantage because I'm getting some advice from my good buddy Theo.
Yeah.
Which I need. And with advantage, I got a mere 7, which means I get 1 question.
At least you're going to like the answer to this, we hope.
Yeah,
That's true.
Well, I'll answer honestly. So depending on the question he asks, he still may not like the answer, but it'll be the truth. And it won't be the worst truth.
How could I best end this quickly, which I'm trying to shape towards how do we get the heck out of here?
I think the answer to that is if you can destabilize one of these objects with the moving gantries, it'll crash into a whole bunch of other ones, and it's just going to be absolute chaos on here. Probably ultimately destroying the asteroid. And yeah, giving you lots of chaos to escape in. It'll be a dangerous situation for you to get out, but it'll definitely be the fastest way to end this.
Sweet. We need to take out that gantry. The resulting explosions will take care of our enemy and give us a chance to get out of here.
Nice. Good plan. And does someone want to roll for the finding out any more information about Quellish and the dissidents?
I guess that's me.
Yeah.
So this is all calculating, right?
Yeah. You can scope it out for a calculating roll. Unless you want to stare into the abyss and try and get a weirder answer.
Ooh, I feel like it has to be staring into the abyss.
Yeah, definitely fits. I mean, if we've got anything that represents the abyss, it has to be Quellish. So
right, for sure, it's terrifying. What is that plus nothing or?
That's alien.
Oh, sweet, even better.
Yeah. So what does it look? How are you staring into the abyss in this particular instance? Like, what is the information that Suresh is gathering?
So we are moving to full radio frequency, like emittance and absorption. We're just communicating almost psychically. This is our kind of our full on equivalent experience of like really touching one another's emotions are all transmitted in these electromagnetism. So that's really, I'm getting at the core of what Quellish is up to and what's going on with these dissidents.
Yeah. Nice. That's what I was hoping for. Cool. So you get to, you were shown dark, let's see here. So on a 7 to 9, you get to ask me a question and I will answer it, or the abyss will answer it more specifically, but it leaves its mark on you. Suffer 1 stress and the Space Master will ask you a question from the abyss stares back. So first of all, what's your question?
Ooh, my question is, how can Jreed help the rebels win a civil war against Quellish?
Ooh. All right. So
maybe like what weakness of Quellish can we exploit together to win this battle?
So I think it's a case of like the fight has to come from multiple fronts. Like if you can overwhelm Quellish with too much shit to deal with, then they will just be pulled apart from all directions. So if the dissidents strike at the right time, if you strike at the same time, and then if your friends cause enough chaos in the macro world, it's all just going to be too much and Quellish will be overwhelmed, and you can get your friends out. You can also, or, give your friends the opportunity to add the chaotic nature of Quellish and make them as democratic as you are.
So we need a micro front and a macro front.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nice. And now I get to ask you a question from the Abyss Stairs back. Let's see here. For what does your character crave forgiveness, and from whom?
It wasn't Quellish that destroyed the civilization that created us. It was Zreed. In our anger of our earning independence, we lashed out against the tyrants, and we have carried the weight of this genocide with us as a nation ever since.
Oh no.
So we want forgiveness from the race that we destroyed, but we can never get it
Because they're gone.
because they're gone.
That is like a fantastic note. We've got our plan, and we've got a really nice reveal on one of our characters. I think that's a really good point for our quick 5-minute bio break. And then we can come back and we'll kick off into some high-octane action. Sweet. Alrighty. See everyone in 5.
is back.
It turns out that when you have a 5.5-month-old retriever puppy and you come downstairs at 3 a.m, he considers that a threat and barks a lot.
Aww.
He was trying to protect, my wife, but then he woke her up.
I'm still very proud of him.
Me too. I mean, he was on point.
He protected her from the nemesis of sleep.
Yeah. That is an old enemy of hers.
Yeah. Lovely. Well, I've had the chance to go through the NPCs section of Impulse Drive. So we've got some bad guys for you to shoot at and have a war with. I really like the two different scales and how they how they can be reflected in the sort of the in the macro, it's like going to be just this free-for-all firefight with some thugs, and in the micro, it's going to be this nation-spanning war that would be like nano months of backwards and forwards and all sorts of interplays in that. So yeah,
the description of their delegations and everything was completely not the thought I had between Quellish and Zreed. I actually imagined this gigantic open room with lots of small tables, and it was this super fast speed dating service with all these little Zreeds and these little Quellishes, but that's probably not what you had in mind. So,
well, yeah, I guess we'll get to see what JD says about how it looks, because a lot of it will be about from that angle. So I'll be very interested to see what everybody brings to it. All right, well, everyone's back. Are we ready to kick into the last 45 or so minutes?
I'm in. Let's go.
Nice. All right, so we come back from the commercial break of the pilot episode or the TV movie of Impulse Drive, The Dissidents of Quellish. And we come back in and we can see on the macro level, there's the three of you who are all sort of huddled up against this side barrier that you probably hastily constructed so that you can shoot at the dudes. And we can also sort of see Zreed is moving towards this little orb that they've got in there of the dissidents. And yeah, it's all about to play out. What do you do? Anyone can jump in with their first action.
I think actually there's a barrier, and Point and Duke are manning it. I'm busy still screwing with stuff in the computers and trying to figure out what kind of havoc I can get away with on the back end of the system.
Well, and theoretically,
Nice.
aren't you the one that's supposed to free Quellish? Or the dissidents of Quellish?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of different angles. There's freeing the dissidents. There's attacking Quellish on the macro of fighting Quellish's thugs. There's attacking Quellish on the macro of trying to destabilize one of these sections so that all these gantries start crashing into other gantries and causes catastrophe. And then there's the micro level war. So yeah, what does Theo want to work on?
Oh, I think I'm going to work on destabilizing the gantries. I mean, it's not going to be too hard to do. They've got a set speed they can turn. Just take off the limiter, so they just keep spin, and eventually just tear themselves apart.
Sounds good. I like it. All right. Let's see what role you'd be making to do such a terrible thing. It could be act quick or keep your cool. I think either of those could apply, unless you've got a intellect move that you would prefer.
I mean, let's see. I think I can jury rig something. I think I can jury rig a a control device that's just going to overwhelm the safety controls, because they don't really care about people's safety here. Let's face it. Look at these catwalks.
That's it.
And
Whatever Quellish was building, it wasn't really meant for humans. They made some concessions to human or like person-style biology, but it's mostly Quellish first, people second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Quellish being Quellish, and it's just I'm gonna have to. It's not gonna be too hard. I mean, all I'm gonna have to do is enhance the unraveled quantum flux anomaly field on these things, and that's just going to overwhelm the motor control standbys, and then it's gonna be like spinning tops all over the place.
So are you yelling this out as everyone else is engaging in their sort of like thing?
Oh yeah,
because
God, I'm super excited about it. It's like this isn't going to be hard at all. I'm just going to have to overload these flux capacitor couplings. I'm going to have to reroute the flux drive into itself so it creates a reverberating wave function form. And there's gunfire going on. I don't think anyone really cares.
I mean, one of the great things about Spout Technobabble is to do it, you have to be saying it out loud. The character is also saying it out loud. No matter what the situation is, they've got to talk the talk before they can walk the walk.
I think this entire crew has just accepted that Theo will randomly start talking about this shit out of the drop of a hat.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, do your jury rig roll. Let's see how it works out.
Oh, that is a big success.
That is a big win. All right. So on a 10 plus, take us through it. What do you get to do?
Okay. It's on a 10 plus, you get just what you need at hand. Choose 2 items from this list. And using expert, I can actually choose 1 more or 1 less from a list.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to choose all 3. It's not going to take long. It's going to do exactly what I want, and it won't break the first time I use it. So I can keep using it to just cause more things to overload, go past their safety design limits.
Nice.
And I'm just fucking with everything on this space station at this point, other than like the hangar bay and our little area. Nice.
Sweet. So I think like as the other 2 are getting ready for their shooting match, and like people are running along these gantries, you hear like this loud groaning noise of like metal being like pushed to like pushed too hard, and you see like one of the objects like starting to spin a little faster than it should, and like a few people like get flung off it because it's spinning so fast. But yeah, there's other people on another one nearby, and they are ready to shoot at your group. And they're getting ready to shoot at you. So what are the other 2 folks that are concentrated on fighting doing?
I've discharged my stoic walls. That's a problem.
I mean, are you hunkered down? You've got the opportunity to be in cover at the start if you wanted to roll in cover.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to take a moment to gather myself in order to try to ready and move. So, yeah, I will do that. So, roll plus stalwart for that, right?
Yeah.
Got a 9, so I take a little too long and choose 2. I will... Oh, wow. The 2 of these don't actually apply because I moved everything to stress already. So I'll just ready. Can I ready 2 moves? Can I double?
Yeah. You can choose the same thing twice.
Awesome. So I will undischarge or recharge my Juggernaut and my Stoic Wall while hiding behind a piece of gantry.
Lovely. And enemy gets a chance to get into a better position and prepare themselves. So there's a bunch that are like a couple of gantries that are like swinging towards you. They're getting ready to fire. But there's one intrepid fellow who's like, he's like bracing himself on the gantry and he's pushed off and he's trying to do the same thing that you lot were doing and like sailing towards you. And he's got his own sort of like bladed weapon that he's kind of come in with. And it's like, like a vibro sword. You can sort of like hear the hum of it as he's coming in. And he's going to have a slash at someone. Probably aiming for the most vulnerable looking person, which is most likely Theo. So anyone else has got the opportunity to step in and do something about this sword-wielding maniac, though.
So what was the result of Duke? Duke was just recovering, right?
Yeah, Duke was recovering, so he's got his stuff all together. But yeah, in the meantime, some people are getting ready to shoot, but then there's this intrepid blade wielder who's coming in and intends to slash at Theo.
And I think this might be like point just doing like a, well, wait, so my telekinesis was discharged, I think, so I can't do that.
Did you roll a recover move?
No, I did not.
Oh, no, okay. Well, you've got the opportunity to also roll recover if you want.
Right.
And depending on how well you do, you'll still have the opportunity to act against this guy.
Yeah, no. Well, can I do something, since the telekinetic move is only just to move like a person or a thing, can I discharge my storm, lashing out destructively?
Yeah, if you want to like just say roll firefight to shoot at this dude, then you could also discharge storm lashing out destructively and tell us what's extra destructive about the way that you're shooting at this person, or reckless.
What could it be? Well, my pistol's also discharged, or does that recover in the next scene anyway?
Let's see.
Or do I have to recover it?
That's the same. Yeah, you would have to recover. So we're still part of the same scene at the moment.
I got it then. So I'm going to take my second gear thing. I'm going to take a bladed weapon.
Nice.
And it's going to be a sword. And everybody's going to hear Point say, fucking scientist treating everybody like lab rats. And he pulls it out. And it's just a regular sword. But he like runs his finger up on it. And it starts vibrating. And then he launches, then he puts himself between the sword wielder and Theo, and he's going to go at him.
Nice, I like it. So that's definitely still firefight. You're exchanging harm with an enemy. So yeah, roll volatile.
Yeah,
and was you like rubbing that blade, like spending a storm to give yourself advantage?
Yeah, that was like me putting the telekinetic force in it to make it sort of like a vibroblade.
Nice, yeah, go for it.
So that's volatile, yay. And we're saying I'm getting an advantage out of that? Is that the idea?
Yeah, because you're spending a storm.
It's either advantage or I get intense increased destruction, right?
Yeah. Like you can spend multiple storm on the same roll. So you can like go, or spend a storm to get advantage on it, and then when you're rolling, you can then go, okay, and I also want to spend a storm to do this.
Nah, I'll just do advantage. That's good enough.
Cool. Hey. Well, you definitely did. On a 10 plus, exchange harm and choose 3. So yeah, you're engaged in hand-to-hand combat with this person with their blade. And
I'm gonna halt the advance so he can't get to Theo.
Yep.
Stepping between him and I swing, yeah, and discharge your weapon with a discharge. Oh, I don't have a discharge tag on this.
Not that particular one, no.
So, and I have to use 3, right? Choose 3. I'm able to disengage and take a moment to recover. That means that gives me a chance to do the recover at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
when you're done with it, you can get back in cover. Yeah.
So I'll do that and impress, dismay, or frighten my enemy.
Nice. All right. Now let's have a look at the harm that you have exchanged. How much does your bladed weapon do?
I guess that depends what the vibro technique does.
Yeah, it'll still count as pretty much the same thing. 2 harm. So yeah, you exchange 2 harm because he's using the same sort of weapon as you are. So you're receiving 2 harm and he's receiving 2 harm. So this is enough to kill the guy. So you get to tell us how you kill the guy, but he also manages to injure you, unless you want to convert it to stress. And you can say some of it goes to stress and some of it goes to harm. You can mix and match, or you can just do all one or all the other.
I'll do all the stress, so 2 stress.
Nice.
And because it's being very active and So I'm actually like bouncing off of walls unnaturally as I'm doing this to try and take the advantage of the telekinetic stuff, if you will.
Sounds cool. Now, a thing worth mentioning is if you're about to roll recover, one of the options in recover, because Rich just had the situation where he rolled really well, but he could only choose one thing, and he wasted 2 options that he had. One of the options is you can shrug it off, which means you can heal just a scratch, or I'm rattled on yourself. And you can just sort of like, so if you took just a scratch, it doesn't give you any mechanical negatives, and you will have the chance to heal it very soon. So if that's something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Or you can still just, if you sort of like, I really want a calamity, I'll take the stress.
Well, I took the 2, I've only got 3 stress right now, as in I've only marked 3, so I'm still okay as far as that goes. So yeah, I'll take, but so I roll the recovery first, right?
So you get the so yeah, you can convert the, like, basically you resolve this move first, which is sort of like the how you take the harm, and then you'll have the opportunity to roll recovery after. So you get you can like stack the deck in whichever way you want.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so I took this. Well, I'm gonna ready a weapon, definitely. Can you double up? Is the other thing?
Yes,
So
you can double up. You can choose the same thing twice. Yeah.
Okay, well, then that makes it easy, because then I've got a pistol that's been discharged and my telekinetics, so I could do both of those if I did really well. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So, and I guess I like the final blow happens. I like, we're not supposed to do anything gory, right? So it's like, so it's not looking at, the camera is on point as he does this downward slash, and the blood just sort of spatters on point as he does it. And we see it spatter up on the walls, and we hear 2 thumps.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, it's implied that you definitely did some good chopping in half, but we don't get to see it. So we get to keep that PG rating.
And then that's sort of like he does the flicking the sword to get the blood off of it, and takes a deep breath. Goes, I'm calm.
That's it. Nice. Yeah, got to get those Disney dollars. So yeah, well, if you wanted to roll recover, we can get that one done now as well. And then I can't wait to see how Freed is doing.
And what do I roll for that? Is that which one?
That is Stalwart.
Stalwart. Oh, great. Yeah, that'll go well.
It's not so bad. You still get to choose 2, but yeah, your enemy is going to have the advantage to do something as well.
Okay, well, I'm going to double choose removing the discharges. So I'm going to get my telekinesis back and get my pistol reloaded.
Nice, cool. All right, so yeah, you're all set to go. For the enemy making a move, I think I'm going to jump focus. We sort of like, so we see this big blur of action on the macro scale, but then we go into the micro scale, and it is the despotic regime of the despotic machine regime of Quellish is it's become aware of all this stuff that's going on. All of a sudden, they're sort of like their gantry and orb system has started malfunctioning. There's a firefight going on. They figured something was up with the cameras, and then all of a sudden their distance are starting to move, and they are sort of like, oh no, we're locking this down. And so they are sort of like in a sort of like not necessarily in the physical sense, but in the sort of like their AI version sense. They're sort of like doing this, okay, we're going to surround them in, and we're just going to start committing genocide on the distance, and we're going to try and wipe them out. So they are moving to organize that. That's the move that they're taking, but they're not there yet. They've just made a step towards it. And I am in fact going to start a scene strain. Familiar with Blades in the Dark Clocks? It's essentially that. We'll say this has got 5 parts, and if it fills up, dissidents are wiped out. And I'll fill in one of those. So the clock is ticking.
No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah, so what's Dreed up to? Let's stay on this micro scale and see what Dreed is doing.
There has been a general referendum. There's been a full vote with all of the citizens of the democratic machine state of Zreed, and we have decided to go to war. But what we first need to do, we know that if we just charge in, send our forces against Quellish, that there's no chance. There's no chance of winning. Their war machine is too strong. So the first thing we have to do is we have to make sure that the rebels are freed so that we can fight together against this bigger force.
Cool, I like it. And what's the plan for that? Are you just like trying to free them from like the containment system that they're in?
This is my question to you, actually. I wanted to know what exactly is being used to contain them at this point. How are they kept together as a amorphous blob of machines?
I think it's like an electromagnetic field. So like in the center of this object, they are sort of like this blob that they can sort of flow around. But if they go too far out, they're basically repelled back into the central mass. So yeah, they're unable to sort of like extend out and like do any of the fancy stuff because they're just like caged in by this electromagnetic field.
Perfect. We're gonna have to send like a special forces team out to take out the battery array that charges this electromagnet.
Nice, I like it. All right, so yeah, you send out your special forces unit, this crack team of high-tech nanomachines, and you know they are armed to the teeth and ready to take out whatever is in their way. They come to this like central junction, power junction, where if they like cut the power, it's going to cut this electromagnetic field, but it is guarded by the forces of Quellish. They've got some decent guard on stock. It's reasonably equal forces. Now, are you going to try and get the drop on them, or are you just going to go in like guns blazing?
We might be able to get the drop on them if we can maybe maneuver it right. So I think that's going to be the strategy. Maybe Quellish is expecting a full assault, and right now we're holding back. We're playing things close to our chest. So let's try to sneak up and take them out silently.
Cool. Well, that sounds like you're using your instincts or reflexes to avoid danger or negotiate through danger towards a goal. Unless you wanted to use unique movement, that sort of fits in this situation as well.
I don't.
Depending.
I think I'm going to save that for something on the macro scale.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, act quick with your slick. Oh no! That's a 1. Good news, you get to mark XP, which is also called an advance.
Have you gotten it? Have you gotten your new move yet?
Sadly, no. I'm only at 3. I just fail when it really counts.
It just feels like it's happening all the time.
Yeah. I mean, there's just been so many low rolls in this session because all of you are doing a great job of playing up towards your hooks. So there's no particular 6- for act quick. I just get to do stuff, and I think it's they see you coming. They're ready, but in the time you wasted trying to get into this position to try and like have the jump on them, they have also moved further towards. Basically, it's like a doomsday weapon. They're going to like they're trying to take over through various points the electromagnetic field that's holding the dissidents in, and they're going to use it as a doomsday weapon to just annihilate them all at once. So it's like the tiniest Death Star. So yeah, they've moved one step closer, but they also know you're coming, so you can still go after them to try and free your dissident allies.
Yeah, this is going to have to be a full assault now. So I think this moves into probably a firefight is where I think this is angling, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So
there's just little like microscopic bolts of electricity like shooting back either directions.
Yeah. Now, what weapons do you have listed on your sheet for the outsider?
So for potential gear I can use, I did already spend one of those to get the sword, but
yep.
I do have like assault rifle listed, which probably makes sense for the range that we're at, which is like a foot.
Yeah. So yeah, they're like these little represented by the like little bolts that are firing out. They are like equal to an assault rifle, which I think is 2 harm.
Yes, I think that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, you're exchanging like 2 harm with these other things that are armed with like nano assault rifles as well. So yeah, let's see how you go against this tiny little gang.
Perfect.
Nice. Hey.
Oh, there it is.
All right. So you get to choose 3 from this list. So you know that you're taking 2 harm from their assault rifles. You're dealing 2 harm with your assault rifle. And yeah, you can choose up to 3 from that list on the Firefly one.
So I definitely have to force the enemy out of cover. Is that kind of what we're thinking for moving
Yeah,
them
you can
away
definitely
from
do that. If you want to sort of like take over this node, you could force them out of cover, which will give you the opportunity to move in.
Yes, that's definitely what I want from this. I
Cool.
think I'm going to impress, dismay, or frighten the enemy. So you know, like maybe Quellish wasn't expecting my forces to hit so hard, especially such a small force. And then yeah, this is a war, not just a little skirmish. So I think I'm gonna play it cagey. I'm gonna take -1 harm.
Cool. So you only take 1 harm. Now, if you've got any armor, I'll still let you spend that armor to reduce that harm by 1 to 0.
So I can still spend gear, is that right? To
Yeah,
get armor?
you can still spend gear. Yeah.
I think right now I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna spend that yet because I only have 1 more gear to spend.
Cool. So there's 1 harm, and you can either set that as harm on, say, something like just a scratch or unrattled, or you can just convert it straight to stress.
I'm definitely gonna take that as harm.
Cool.
So I'm at just a scratch, I think. So we lose some very highly trained, very good, good soldiers out there.
That's it. Yeah, they've lost a few molecules.
Yeah, the peaceniks back home get some talking points.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. All right. So yeah, you do you take out a few of their figures, and they're just sort of like they're pushed out of the zone. So you've got the opportunity to sort of like come in and like take over the node, but you will still be defending the node from attack. They'll still be sort of around the area. But yeah, you're on the node now. Once you've got enough, you can either sort of like try. You've got the opportunity to try and work on like disrupting the node while you're fighting them off, and that could be represented as something if you make another firefight roll of you make an advance or force your enemy out of cover. So if you made an advance, that would be like I have some guys working on the node while I'm fighting them off as well. So yeah, if you wanted to make another firefight roll, and we'll see how the second volley goes between your 2 forces.
Yeah, definitely.
For this node.
We've taken a position. Let's see how this goes.
Ooh, that's less what you want to see. You're really polarized with these rolls all over the place.
Yeah, no joke.
Cool. So on the 6-, you lose control, exchange harm, and your enemy chooses 2 and applies it against you. So once again, 2 harm coming in from them. I'm going to spend one of the 2 hold that I have, or yeah, choose one option, which is I will double the harm. So you're taking 4 harm. And they are trying to halt or put, yeah, they're halting in advance. So they're trying to, they're keeping you from actually sort of like activating the node right now. But yeah, what are you going to do with this 4 harm?
I mean, even if I use armor at this point, I am at knocked out.
Can't you put it into stress and then take a calamity?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could put it in stress. You're right. You're right. Good call. Good call. What? How does the calamity thing work exactly?
So once you fill up with stress, you pick one of the calamities that are on the page, and you gain an experience point from it. So you get an XP or an advance. And then we sort of fictionally fit in the thing that you chose into the situation. And I'll have to have a look and see what the outsiders
Okay,
got for
yeah,
their calamities.
that sounds like actually really interesting here. So let's do that. I'm gonna spend the last gear. I'm gonna get that armor. I'm gonna reduce it to 3, and I'm gonna take all of that into stress,
Awesome.
Which will get
which
you
puts me at 5 stress, which gets me an XP, which gives
you
me an advance, or it gets me another advance, so I get an XP. I don't know.
How much XP are you on at the moment?
How much? This just hit. I just hit 5.
Oh, you're on 5 XP as well. So yes, you do get to take either a new move.
Does this happen instantly?
Steps by or gain a new gear. Yeah, straight away.
Ooh. All right. I'll have to go check that out. Let me look at these calamities and figure out what's going on there.
Yeah.
These are super interesting on this scale. Oh no. I'm like torn between some of these. What do you guys think? Either I have to create a copy of myself, or give birth to offspring, which I feel like means there's a civil war, or like the people who didn't want to fight this war are now like splitting off from those who were fighting it. So I'm reduced in my my total capacity, or I'm forced between choosing to ally with my kind or alienating myself, which in this case feels like abandoning these rebels.
That's a real tough choice. Do you want to stew on it and we'll come back?
That sounds great, actually. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So we have this big tense moment. You have inflicted some severe injuries to the force that you forced off the node, the Battle of Node 382. So they're looking pretty ragged, but they're also pushing you right to the limit as well. And there's a lot of tension right on that point. But back on the macro scale, these things are starting to spin at an alarming rate, and like there's like you can hear like the sound of like techno engines and stuff like that going at far too high a rate, and like there's a lot of stress. One of the gantries like flies off and flies into another gantry and sort of like wipes out a whole bunch of stuff. It's like the place is starting to come apart, but you're still engaged in a battle with these thugs. Who does something and what do you do?
I think it is time for me to use a grenade, right? Because I have so far used mentioned the bladed weapon, used the pistol. So I think the 3rd gear slot is his grenade. So he's going to be trying to clear a path for us to get the heck out of Dodge. That is the plan.
Nice. Alrighty. Well, yeah. If you want to use a grenade, roll firefight, and we'll see how well it goes for you.
Okay, roll volatile, which is not my best stat, but it's not bad. Got a 7 on a 7 to 9 exchange harm and choose 1.
All right. So yeah, these guys are shooting at you with assault rifles. That's 2 harm coming in, and your grenade does 4, I believe.
My grenade does 4. That is correct. I don't think you can discharge a grenade, right?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, cool. I want to.
I mean,
exactly, it's discharge.
I mean, we could fictionally play it as like you just use all the uses of the grenade, and you just like
throw a bandolier of them.
Yeah, throw a bandolier of them.
That would be insane. And I'm not crazy. I'm a soldier. I'm going to impress, dismay, or frighten my enemy with my 1 choice. And I'm taking 2 harm, which I will move both to stress. That gets me to 4 stress.
Nice. Yeah, so you throw this grenade, it goes off, a whole bunch of people fly off in different directions. One of them gets cleaned up by one of these quickly speeding gantries, like just hits him, and you hear that crunch, and then the gantry itself is like starts wobbling and like clashes into some other gantries and like just increases the overall chaos. And like everyone just takes a moment as they see this moment of carnage, and they're like, what the? And yeah, so what does there's just that opening for someone to jump in and do something extremely dangerous or violent or creative.
To which one? To the gantries or to quellish, to the contained quellish?
Um.
So what I was thinking, can I jump in?
Yeah, jump in.
So we've got that clock to try and free the dissidents, right?
Well, the clock that I'm filling up is to kill the dissidents. If quellish is that, just annihilate the dissidents. Getting it free, there's not necessarily a clock at the moment, but an action that like brings that barrier down will let them all escape, and that's sort of like your key moment where you can all get out of here.
And I think this might be when like it's a point like it's like looking at everything that's happening and turns over his shoulder to look and sees that Theo and Jreed are just sort of, it looks like they're not doing anything, and he like runs back and like smashes his hand against the containment area, like if there's a wall or something like that, and we see one of those rippling waves go as he just releases like the tempest against us, like, we have to get out of here now, yeah. And so throws it at it to try and break the containment field or whatever's providing the power to the containment field to let the dissidents go.
Cool. Yeah. That sounds like you're using telekinetic force.
It could be, but that only lets me throw one person. I thought I was lashing out destructively.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could activate telekinetic force to lash out destructively, and then you can spend storm to do the thing, make telekinetic force do the thing that you want it to.
Sure.
Because I'm guessing the option you want to choose would be something like to destroy something.
Yes. Something is broken beyond repair.
Yeah. So you can, activate telekinetic force in that way. So like you're like affecting an object, you want to push an object, but yeah, you also want to activate the TK force to break it. So yeah, I could definitely see you using it to do that.
Okay. So let's see, to do my TK force.
Now, how much storm have you got left at the moment?
I want to say I have 2. Let me take a look. Could be wrong though. It might be down to 1. I'm showing 2. Okay.
Cool. So you spend 1 because you want to break something beyond repair, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also want to spend 1 to give yourself advantage on the roll?
Sure. I like putting it all in it.
That's it. This is a big one.
I hope so. And I think this is, I'm trying to remember, I didn't see it in the write-up. I think this is volatile.
Let's see here. TK force is roll plus volatile. Yes.
Okay, sweet. And advantage. Dun dun dun. As the wave goes out. What did I do? Not bad. Yay.
Yeah, cool. So on a 10 plus, your intent is strong. You get to choose 1 from the list. I guess it's sent flying back as though from a forceful blow.
Works for me.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you like smash into this wall, and the wall itself just like caves in a certain spot. On the micro level, this is represented like a massive, like earth-shattering earthquake. Like just things break apart.
Destruction.
Yeah. And like the special forces squad is like, oh no, what's happening? So yeah, the field goes down. But yeah, on this micro level of incredible amounts of destruction, what was the calamity that you ended up choosing?
So I'm going with you are forced to choose between allying with your kind or alienating yourself to be free. But the way that I'm taking this is I'm splitting myself apart, and so parts of me are joining this war with my ally, my kind, my rebellious kind, and then other parts are maybe disseminating back into some other form and leaving me behind. So the fundamental nature of Jreed must be changing somehow.
Ah. Jreed is no longer sort of like the isolationist, sort of like, just let us be free.
Well, this is the thing: is the people that created him were stoic, and I'm supposed to be active. So the true faction, the non-conservative faction, is moving forward, while those other ones who are afraid of this war are now
Like,
going
oh yeah,
away.
we never learned the lesson of our creators. That's also part of the forgiveness that they're going for as well. We have to hang up this violent, individualist thing. We have to be isolated and live apart so that we don't cause harm.
I love it. Yeah, that's great.
Perfect.
So maybe it's kind of creating a copy of myself, kind of creating whatever. I'm somewhere in between those two, but I think
that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's a copy of yourself that won't do anything because they're going to isolate themselves.
Right, they're not a PC anymore.
That's it. Cool. But yes, like the field goes down and the dissidents are freed, and they also like boil and swarm out in this big floating cloud, and sort of like join, and your little shock troops are able to sort of like, you know, recall out of this carnage and like, you know, dodge a whole bunch of destruction, and get back to the main body of Jreed. As another part is sort of like, when we get the chance, I think we're going to have to leave. But yeah, you've got your prisoner free, and it's a perfect time to try and get out of here. And I think we can sort of like do sort of like a montage time lapse, as like the facility itself is just starting to come apart at the seams now on the macro level as well as the micro level, because of like, you know, the amount of destruction that Theo has been able to wreak on the systems. So it's all coming apart, and yeah, it's time for that final dash, that mission that they have at the end of Halo 3, where everything's coming apart and you're just running for it. So yeah, let's see how you all get through. So first of all, we're in this 0G room with all this stuff flying around. Is everyone abandoning the gantries and going for that 0G leap? Yeah,
definitely.
Cool. All right. So yeah, let's get a act quick roll from everyone to see how quickly you can get out of this death room and back into the corridors. Oh, Duke has some trouble. Theo has some trouble. Oh no, Jreed has some trouble.
No wait, I accidentally rolled twice again. I'm gonna take that 7. I'm claiming it.
Oh yes, no, well yeah, yeah, the 7 is the one that you get. So yeah, you're not too bad. Oh, and point is on point.
Finally.
Nice. All right, so let's have a look at Act Quick. Just scroll back down here. All right, so on a 10 plus, you're graceful, swift, or acrobatic, and you do it. So point is just, you get to tell us how just awesome and graceful you look.
Oh, this is, yeah, because point, like I thrust myself into the void, and and I time it so that each gantry I'm actually pushing off of the different gantries to get where I'm going. So it's not a straight shot, it's like boom, boom, boom.
Nice. Looks very, very cool. And let's see, here's Jreed. You get to choose one from the list on Act Quick. You're off balance, you have disadvantage going forward. You're left something behind, I get to tell you what, or you're pushed to your limits with the effort, suffer 1 stress.
I'm leaning, I have to leave something behind if you're picking up maybe what I'm laying down.
Yeah, for sure. This is where that other faction, the Doves, they separate off. They're like, you're too wild, we can't do this, and that's where they split off. So we see Jreed sort of like go through. And do you do that same thing of like you're just like the cloud just weaving your way through?
Yeah, we have to be. Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, so the dissidents follow you in a similar pattern, so we get a cool sort of like type thing as you all go through. Now for you other two, things don't go so well. I think you still manage to get there, but you take some real hard knocks along the way. And yeah, you'll each take like 2 harm from like slamming too hard into gantries or being caught by, you know, like at the jagged edge of a broken gantry that scrapes by you. So how do you all deal with that 2 harm coming into Duke and Theo?
I'll take it all the stress. That's
Nice.
my 3.
No, 3 stress, cool. And what about Duke?
I will move it all to stress, which pushes me to a calamity.
Oh, nice.
And I think I'm given an opportunity for a great victory at the cost of a part of your body.
Nice.
Since we're right near the end, like we're right at time. So there we go. I'm handing
yeah, it fits well. Well, yeah, you tell me, what's the great victory that you find, and what's the part of your body that it costs you?
Let's see. Well, he's already got a cybernetic arm. So I think maybe he gets what's he figures out when the grenade pops open that he can vent this thing to space. So there's basically, even though this is in the center, there are a couple of ventral ports, and he can blow that open. So he lobs another grenade. It explodes, but it's closer than he anticipated, right? So when he tries to run and hits a gantry, it blows off his left leg. But by venting everything out, it kind of clears the way of us. We kind of hang on for a little bit until the despotic machine regime of Quellish is able to close off that ventral point. But at that point, the guards are gone, and we can quickly make our way to our ship.
Sounds good. Yeah. I'll even let you, because you've given up your leg for it, I'll even give you part of the great victories. You do manage to pick up your crate full of your personal items, of your nice guns.
That's definitely a calamity that I will take. That sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So yes, you all managed to get back to the ship where Derek is sort of like, she's like going, hurry for that last bit. She's like, go. And like, she's actually lifting off as you're running up the gantry to get back on the ship, and the door is shutting, and then the ship sort of like turns and takes off and whoosh, off into space as you complete the mission. And yeah, awesome. Very good work.
I just imagine at the end, there's like that, opera music, and, the soprano is singing as like things are crashing down,
Yeah, and yeah, we get to see like the plumes of like, just these orange plumes as parts of the station, and the asteroid sort of like blow up from within as you sort of like fly off. Very epic. All right, well, if folks have time, there's 2 more moves that I'd like to go through, which is the ship payment move to see how well you guys made out from this whole ordeal. And then just quickly run through Cliffhanger, the end of the episode thing, just to see how we went on ticking off a few of those things. So let's see here. When your crew successfully completes a contract and collects their pay from the client or contact, so in this case, it's your creditor who's actually paying you. You're getting the money from Pycea, who's getting paid from the dissidents, who obviously had like a little bank account that they had set aside.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to roll plus contract rating, which in this case is +2. So if someone would like to just do a roll 2d6 +2 in the chat, and we'll see how well you make out.
I feel like Zaid should
Shreed
should do it. Considering they're technically also now part of the payee.
All right. I'm probably gonna. It worked. All right.
Nice. On a 7 to 9, you get the standard deal. Choose 2 from the list. And we've got, you keep the wolves at bay, reduce payments by 1 and reset the debt fuse. So you actually managed to make a payment off to Pycea. You pay the bills, you pay the maintenance cost for your ship, and reset the maintenance fuse, because that will increase since you've just completed a job. You get the ship patched up, remove any damage from the ship. The ship hasn't been damaged. You purchase an upgrade for your ship. You can get a new thing like passenger quarters. You go shopping for a new vehicle. You roll test drive as a crew, and you can get like a fighter or perhaps a mech, which is armatures in this. And You fill your ship's cargo hold with lucrative goods for sale elsewhere. Roll lucrative exports. That will get you some extra stuff. Or you divide the spoils for some walking around money. Each crew member gets to go basically on a shopping spree or relieve themselves of some stress, stuff like that.
I get one of these. Is that right?
You as a group get to choose 2 for a 7 to 9.
Keeping the wolves at bay sounds nice. I'm going to throw that out
Lovely.
there.
Yeah. So you make a payment, which keeps you in good with Pycea. She's quite happy with you for both doing the job and getting her some money.
I feel like we pay the maintenance cost as well. After this run, like the ship is probably like on fumes.
Yeah.
Almost out of gas. The flux, the plasma couplers are like burned out from having to jam out there as quickly as we did.
I can just imagine that Duke was sort of like, already scrolling through online catalogs of like new guns and stuff that he could purchase. And when it, because it's payday, it's time to work out what you're going to spend all your money on. And then Theo sort of rocks up and goes, we got to get these couplers replaced. They're about to blow. We're going to get stranded in space if we don't do something. And Duke just sighs and closes the tab.
Yeah, it was legsorus.com.
Yeah. Nice.
You just have to settle for Leg Mart.
Yeah,
Yep.
Great.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So yeah, you kept flying for another day, and now we will go through the cliffhanger move, which is here. When you reach the end of an episode, go through the following list. Each player takes a turn reading their 3 hooks, and if the table agrees at least one of the player's hooks impacted events or the character, the player marks XP. Then you can remove hooks or rewrite hooks if you think that they're all played out. Mm-hmm. So who wants to go first through their hooks? Yeah, sure. Go for it.
I'll go for it. I'll protect point from anything, even themselves. I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Theo's like a child to me. I'll teach them to be strong. Just the one there. And Zreed and I have seen all of each other's scars as a sacred bond. That has slight influence. So I think the hook.
Yeah, I'll give you an XP, so you get 1 XP.
Yay.
And who wants to go next?
I'll go ahead and go.
Yeah.
Duke has a secret that can destroy us all. I will learn at any cost. I don't think that came into effect, really. Zreed can't keep it in their pants, and it's going to cause problems. Iffy on that one. Like
Zreed was messing with a bunch of stuff. It didn't necessarily cause problems.
They did lose part of themselves, but they gained so much more.
Yeah. Although I think you were acting on Zreed being a problem. There were a few times when you're like, because Zreed is like this, I'm going to have to do a thing. Yeah. So I'd say, yeah, it influenced your behavior at the very least.
Yeah, I know I hit this third one. Become obsessed with the mystery of the exclusion of any danger. It's like, yeah, you guys are arguing whether or not we actually screw shit up. I've got this. Oh, fuck.
Yes, absolutely. That definitely did play into it. So, yeah, I would say mark an XP.
Okay.
Cool. Who'd like to go next?
I can go.
Yeah.
So we owe Duke a life debt. We'll always be there for him. Might have messed that up by having you lose a leg, but so I definitely haven't paid it back or anything. So I think that's still rolling. We will show a point to the true face of the abyss. This is that didn't come up, but I think our relationship will have definitely been different if we were to continue this. Given the fact that you're the one who destroyed the coupler. And then I dislike how Theo treats me. We will teach them to respect us. Yeah, that's still gotta come.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I don't know. You tell me. Do you think any of those were played well, played big enough where it affected you to earn an XP?
I don't think so. Exactly.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, you had some stuff on the larger scale as well. Like a lot of the larger scale stuff kicked in there as well. And finally, for point, what were your 3
Theo has seen me at my most vulnerable. I'll make sure they never tell anyone what they saw. I don't think that came into play at all.
No.
My hunters didn't come into play either, but Duke got under my skin many, many times.
Very true. You definitely played well to that one. Yep. So yeah, definitely mark an XP for that. Cool. And then we answered these 3 questions as a group. And for each answer, each person marks an XP. Like everybody marks XP for each yes we get on this. So did you complete a mission or contract? Yes. Did you learn something new and important about the universe? Pretty
Yes.
hard to not do on the first session. Did you make a new enemy or thwart an existing enemy?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And last of all, was there a big moment that hinged on a crucial role? I think there was probably a couple, like that one for like messing with the machinery so that everything starts smashing into each other, and that big one that Point did with
Yep,
the big
smashing
2K.
everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd say that's a yes on all 4 of those.
Mm.
Nice.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, thanks for playing, folks. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you for running us. It has been a blast.
This is a lot of fun.
I am
Awesome.
proud to have flown with you all on this mission. We made
Very
it.
cool.
We all made it out safe for now.
Well, not everybody, right? The pacifists stayed behind, didn't they?
I got some. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this into the chat because I was just thinking about it.
Oh, cute. That's
I
fun.
like that. Very cool.
So it's definitely. I think that Drelish now will be a radical separatist faction who believes in independence and sovereignty for all who desire it.
That's very cool. I like that. Awesome. Well, yeah, if people want to go around quickly and just give a shout out of who they are and where folks can find them again, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm Rich. You can find me on the Twitter, Orklord, ORKLORD. And don't forget Impulse Drive, as this is coming out still on Kickstarter. Go back it like I have. I strongly recommend it. It's awesome.
Cool. We'll just go from right to left. JD.
Yeah, cool. So I'm JD. You can find me on. This is now my usual introduction. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChimeraCast. That's Chimera with an AE. So we podcast Dungeon World, but we also do other PBTA, other story games. So Impulse Drive has been on my my radar for a while. I've backed it already, but man, I gotta get this on the cast. So it'll happen sooner rather than later.
Awesome. And Pharrell.
You can find me here in Houston. Look up the Gauntlet on Meetup. I am the organizer for all Houston events. We would be more than happy to have you at our table. And if you're looking for me online, my handle is RedMagus77. You're going to find a lot of shit posting on there. But you're more than welcome to reach out to me.
Awesome. And Christo, give us some shout out.
I'm Christo. You can find me in the Gauntlet circles, or you can find me on Twitter, call sign @TaintedDingo. That's an old Ingress name. And that's about it. Thank you, Adrian.
Awesome.
This was a game that I've been trying to get in for, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, maybe, trying to find it. Rich's games were always full, so I couldn't get into them.
I should run them at midnight. That's how we make it happen.
How dare you be popular, Rich? I'm so glad I got to play with you all. It's been a joy.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go crash now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming along. I know it's super late for all of you now, so I won't keep you too much longer. I just wanted to say, yeah, thank you so much for playing along and participating in a way that I can show people the game. So it's been really awesome. And yeah, I'm really happy to have played with all of you as well. Some of you I know from around the Gauntlet, and some of you I'm just really happy to have had this chance to play with. Thanks so much, everybody.
This is great. Thanks, everyone.